Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Morning Show. I'm your producer, Poseidon. Doing my thing, producing and shit. On your screens right now, we have George Sandrizos. How you doing, George? You good?
I'm good, man. You do your thing. You produce.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, George has the Backstage podcast. What do you do exactly, George?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Backstage podcast. It's I bring you different people that work behind the scenes of different fields, whether it's politics, social community, just bring it to the forefront so that we can have some value to everyone listening. And also, there's Just Us Dads podcast that I do with two buddies of mine where we discuss all things being dads, and it's pretty fun.
All right, awesome. And Mr. Phil.
Yo.
How you doing? You're the co-host of The Morning Show?
Morning.
Good morning. What do you do?
What'd you say?
You're the co-host of The Morning
I do a
Show?
lot of different things, man.
Yeah, such as?
I make commercials. I have Phil my podcast where I discuss with unsuspecting guests who don't know the title of the show. Respectable until they come on, then questionable. I mean, if you want any more information, balabanos.com, but mostly you can find me right here.
Hey. All right, so I think that's about it. And also, don't forget, for my stuff, I posted a little clip with Annabelle and I yesterday on Twitter. You guys can go check it out on Twitter. It's Poseidon69, also on Instagram. And also have my show with her, which is an exclusive to Pantelis' Patreon, patreon.com/Pantelis. The episodes are very fun. So if you guys haven't signed up for the Patreon, you're missing out. You're missing out big time. And I think that's about it, right? George, what do you have?
You just gave up trying to plug anything today. You're like, fuck it, guys. You do it yourselves. I'm just Poseidon.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Because you know why? Because I just changed my sleep cycle. I'm waking up at 8 a.m. I'm not used to waking up at 8 a.m. So
He's all fired up. I think
it's the opposite.
It's confusing, Phil. He's not used to seeing so much light.
yeah, I've lived like a vampire my whole life, bro.
I've said it before. We should do the morning show in the afternoon when I'm fully awake. Good morning. It's 5 p.m.
I think it would be even funnier if we had the morning show like at 10 p.m. like at night. Good morning,
George.
everyone.
You know what, George? Even a broken clock is right twice a day. You may have just fucking hit lightning right now. That might be the greatest and only good idea you've had in all the time we've done stuff together.
Thank you so much.
The morning show at 10 p.m. I love it.
So
give us the news, George.
Yes.
Where's the big man?
Don't worry about it, bro.
Questions,
get to the news, bro. Don't worry, but don't ask no questions like that, bro.
Don't ask no questions like that. So, guys, here's what I've been thinking, because news are in general just pretty depressing and sad. I thought I will make an extra effort every time we do this show to at least start the episode with some sort
fake news.
Yeah, fake. No,
like we're just gonna make up bullshit news.
Yeah,
it's safe. No. Coronavirus is done. We've won. Everyone, go out and lick everyone. Yay!
We did it. Yeah. No, but I thought maybe it would be interesting to find some sort of positive news, something to put smiles on people's faces. At least one. So that's how I'll start off today. I read an article the other day about a man that saved a mom and her daughter from the freezing rivers up in the Rivière des Mille-Îles. I think it's up in Laval. Basically,
George, funny piece of information. Did you know that Big Mac sauce comes from this region?
Mille-Îles?
The Thousand Islands. That's why. The Thousand Island dressing.
Okay. Didn't know that.
Okay. I mean, moving on. You said you wanted good news, bro.
So what happened, basically, a mom and her young little daughter were bird watching. They went on to the river, I guess to get a closer look, whatever. The child slipped, fell in the water. The mom tried to help the kid. She wasn't able, so she fell in the river as well. She was able to lift the kid out of the water onto the ice, but she wasn't able to lift herself up. Luckily, there was a man driving by, stopped his car. The only thing that he could grab was an extension cord that he had in his car, rushed down, threw the cord around the mom, pulled her out of the water, and dragged her all the way to shore. And that's
a fucking long extension cord.
It is a pretty long extension cord.
Right? It's a good thing there was a man around to save them.
Oh, Devon said.
No, but imagine how lucky you have to be, like just at that specific moment where you think that's it, I'm done. This is it. This is how it ends. Some guy just throws you like this fluorescent orange cord. Here, grab onto this.
Fucking low budget Quebecois Batman shows up with his utility belt.
It happened to me. I fell
Like-
in the river. I broke through the ice on Gouin.
Really?
Yeah, in high school. And
Yo, that's
Dano
like
was
the
there.
most dangerous part of the river.
I know. What do you think? I don't know, bro. I live dangerously. My middle name is Danger. Yeah, Dano was there. He told
Pantelis,
me I was
danger,
crazy.
pas de nom de famille.
Yeah.
You were probably close to the shore, right? Like, I mean, you could.
No, I was
you
in the
could-
middle. It was all ice, and we were walking to see how far we can get. And then, the ice started giving. Yeah, it was crazy.
You fell into the water.
Into the water. Yeah, I was purple.
Gee, when was this? I've never heard this story.
Yeah,
I thought you knew all your
Dano
stories.
says it all the time. Maybe it was 2000 or 2001. It was my first years of at Evangeline. And then at the school, they were
terrifying.
they were like, I was all fucked up, right? I was all purple and shit, and I wanted to go home, and they were yelling because Dano was trying to explain like what happened because I was like all fucked up, and the secretary was having none of it. Every time he kept talking, she's like, de quoi je me mêle? Yeah, they were such a shit school, bro.
What a bunch
That's
of
hilarious.
scumbags.
I fell into a river, but not through the ice. Like I fell in La Chute. I fell into the little rapids.
I
I had
got
to go to Croteau and buy new clothes.
I got lucky because just by chance, I didn't because I was looking the other way. I was looking towards the shore, that my arms locked on the part that
And you
didn't break,
caught.
and I caught it. If I was turned the other way, because it pulled me under, it would have pulled me all the way under. But I locked
You're
in
lucky
like that.
you didn't fucking forget die. You're lucky you didn't grow a fucking third dick or something. That water's so dirty.
No, it wasn't. It was freezing. It was
What
in
do
the
you
middle of the winter. There was no one
what do you
there.
mean a third
Well,
dick? You
that's
already
what you're worried
assumed-
about, Phil.
Is that what you're worried about, Phil?
George.
A third dick?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about my second
Third
dick?
The second one, listen, man, I'm not here to judge. We're all different.
Yeah, that's what had happened. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah,
definitely.
that's
Because the
fucked
current,
up.
the current is very strong over there. Like
Oh,
Phil
yeah.
said.
Because I felt it, and then I was like, it was pulling me in, and then I was like, holy shit, and it was crazy. Yeah, it was him and a Jehovah's Witness kid. Forgot what his name was. A good kid.
Saved by an Iraqi and a Jehovah's Witness. There's a fucking movie title.
Yeah, it was good. Well, we were all there together. It's not like they ran
I mean,
from
that's
the shore.
another piece of good news. Then that's two good news stories. One, Pantelis didn't die in 2001.
Dude, you know how many near misses I've had in my life that should have been dead? A lot.
There's there's like an extra podcast we can do near misses with Pantelis every time you almost died.
I've had a lot, yeah.
So yeah, so
But
happy.
that is a feel-good
little
story,
moment
George.
For the little family, got very lucky that Ben was around and could save them. So
That's good.
let's
Now
move
give
on.
us the bad news.
Yeah, everything else now is bad, guys. So no, not really bad, but let's move on to the vaccination process. It started this week. We spoke last week about the government trying to reach an agreement with the pharmacies in order for them to assist in this vaccination process. I mean, they already do help out with the flu vaccination, which is how the government in the previous year managed to vaccinate 250,000 people per week.
Yeah.
With the flu. So they did reach an agreement. The pharmacies are coming on board on the 15th of March. They're starting it very progressively with about 50 pharmacies in Montreal that will hopefully expand very quickly throughout 300 pharmacies all over the city. And there is a potential of having over 1,500 pharmacies throughout the whole province kind of come in and help out.
So wait, pharmacies are going to be able to give the vaccine?
Exactly. So they're going to be able to administer the vaccine. So
I
people.
mean, they already do the flu vaccine. It's not that much of a stretch.
No, exactly. Well, but that's what they were basing themselves on a couple of weeks ago when they were saying that we have a capacity to administer 250,000 vaccines per week, which hasn't happened yet, right? So the whole process is very slow here for Quebec. Even now, I mean, they started this week. They've only administered about 17,000 vaccines. So if we add that for a week, I mean, we're far from the 250,000 objective that they know they could reach. Quebec is expecting over 100,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine this week, and we're most likely going to be receiving the Moderna vaccine to provide the pharmacies.
I like how you pronounce Moderna. Very Greek.
Moderna.
Moderna.
It just sounds like how they would refer to a woman in the 90s who knew how to use like a calculator. Oh, she's so Moderna.
Yeah, exactly. Quali Moderna.
Here's the thing, man. I don't know how you guys are taking it, but like there's a lot of people that are getting excited that we moved so quickly, from booking the slots for the 85-year-old and above all the way now down to 70 plus within just a couple of days. They're like, yeah, we're doing so well. Look how fast it's progressing. I don't know. I mean, I don't have the numbers. Well, we do. I mean, they've only vaccinated 17,000. I mean, we don't know the numbers of the people that have booked their appointment. But I'm just wondering if that is happening because everyone is running and it's going well, or if there aren't enough people calling in to book their appointments. So there's all these slots and they're opening it up to the lower age bracket.
It's the second one.
It's the second one.
I was reading stats the other day. People, they have more slots than they have people. People are very nervous about the vaccine.
There are more slots than people.
My mom had it yesterday. I haven't called her. I don't know how that went. And my dad is getting it on Friday. So, look,
my grandparents, I think I said it last week. My grandfather wants it. He's like, whatever, come at me. Life, like he doesn't care anymore. He's like 90. My grandmother's like, I don't need it. I can't take that.
Good.
So like, I don't know. It's people are nervous. It's been a weird year. Like people have become disenfranchised.
Yeah, my dad was saying, I can't take it. I'm on all these pills. It's going to affect me. I'm like, dude, you're taking a cholesterol pill and you're taking one for your blood sugar. Like, what are you talking about? There's people that are in worse shape than you are. Come on.
Yeah, but they're dead, George.
It's like, I take 2 pills. What are you talking about?
My grandfather's never even had a flu shot. He's 90 years old. And he's like, I guess I'll do it. Sounds fun.
I don't think I've ever seen my dad taking any shot whatsoever.
Yeah, I've never taken the shot. That's why I'm not interested in this one. I've survived without the other ones.
I don't know. We'll talk when like 100,000 people have had it, and then I'll make a decision.
Yeah, if in a couple of months I see that everyone who got it, they're fine and there's no problem, then I'll consider it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? Because the second doses are going to be completed now in the seniors' residences. So by the end of March, they're thinking that that's going to be over. They've already administered, I think, close to 500,000 doses for the seniors in the senior care facilities. So by the end of this month, they'll be getting their second dose. Look, we've spoken about this. By the time our turn comes around, I think we're going to have enough information to judge. I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest with you. I think everyone is a little bit panicking because this is a new form of a vaccine. So I don't know. That's where my kind of question mark comes up, right? It's like, well, what is this? Like, how do you come up with a vaccine in a matter of a couple of months when every expert was saying that at least 3 to 4 years?
Yeah.
So that's for me, that's where the whole curiosity thing.
The fact that we've come up with multiple different types of vaccines, I think that makes me a bit more comfortable with the fact that, okay, it's not weird that only one company came up with something so quickly. You know what I mean? And they're all different technology. One's mRNA, one's like adenovirus, one's traditional. I mean, only China's using traditional vaccination, like where they take dead coronavirus and they give it to you, or weakened, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of misinformation too. Like I've read how the mRNA vaccines work, and then I've seen like influencers explaining it, how it rewrites your DNA, and I mean that's not what's happening at all. And like people are freaking out. You hear something's rewriting your DNA, you get scared. I mean, I'll say it again. That's not what's happening. It's not what they're doing.
So how does the mRNA work?
The same way another vaccine works. It's a delivery mechanism. That's all it is. It's a way to deliver something. I mean, I don't know, X, let's say, to the body so that it can have an immune response. It's not actually giving you the virus. It's just using mRNA strands as a delivery method.
Yeah, but it doesn't use a traditional method of injecting part of the virus inside you to develop antibodies.
No, it doesn't. No, only the Sinovax or whatever, the one from China.
I think, isn't the AstraZeneca like that?
That one's no, it's an adenovirus delivery mechanism. So it's using a different thing. It's using a virus, a different kind of virus. And there's another one that uses the common cold virus. I don't remember them all. I'm not a fucking doctor, right?
So the mRNA, what does it do? It just triggers your body to develop antibodies.
It delivers fake mRNA that mimics the virus so that when your body comes in contact with the virus, it recognizes it. Okay. And it already has the cell memory to fight it. That's my understanding of it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. At the same time, I mean, the health director came out the other day and he warned everyone that, look, the numbers are going down. We're seeing the COVID numbers going down, but we have to be conscious of the fact that there are actually two curves that we're supposed to be looking at. One is the curve of the COVID numbers that, yes, they are dropping. But while that curve is dropping, there's another curve that is rising, and that's the variant cases.
We have 2 weeks to stop the variant curve, guys. 2 weeks to stop the variant curve.
Flatten the curve.
So he thinks that this period right now could only be the calm before another more serious storm.
So, hold on, George, one second. I've heard them say this, and I had this conversation with the doctor I had on the show.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense as a statement because you're not testing variant and COVID. You're not following two different curves. The second curve is within the first curve, right? So you're just testing for COVID. That's your main curve.
Yeah.
Then they're checking to see if there's variance within that. So if one curve is getting smaller, it's flattening, all of them are.
I don't give a fuck. None of us are scientists. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm going to avoid it.
But think about it. You're not testing for two different diseases.
I don't know.
They're testing for one disease.
Yeah.
Of those positive cases, they're checking to see if any of them are variants. That's it.
Well, because right now they're doing sampling to see which, from the positive case that they got, how many of those have the variant. So yeah, you're right. It's one test that you do to get COVID. Through that COVID, is there a variant? And that curve, well, those numbers seem to be on the rise. Like there's 137 confirmed cases right now, but they're suspecting that there could be another 1,100 cases. They're assuming that it may be variants. All of them are in Montreal. I mean, look,
even if every single
here.
Positive case is a variant and the curve is still flattening. Even if everyone is a variant. That's what people don't understand.
Right.
Even if every single case turns out to be a variant case, we still have less active cases. The numbers are going down.
But isn't it alarming the fact that this variant, that this new variant is much more contagious? And
I've never seen any science that explains to me why it's more contagious. They just keep saying
they're backing themselves from what happened in Great Britain and in some other countries where they have huge amounts of variant cases where it just spiked the numbers up again.
It just because we started measuring something that we weren't measuring before. It's an observation bias. I mean,
Phil's not wrong here.
Sorry?
You're not wrong here.
It's an observation bias. All it's done is replace the original strain. It's become the dominant strain because it's more efficient for whatever reason. Probably because it doesn't kill as many people. That's why it's more efficient, because viruses want to propagate. Killing you doesn't help them do that.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Aruda here said there's no cases, the flu doesn't exist anymore. Remember that? There's 0 cases of flu this year. The flu doesn't exist. It's like, okay, well, you just refusing to count the flu in. It doesn't change the fact that the flu still exists, you piece of garbage.
The only thing about the flu is there's 0 sustained community spread this year, which makes sense. I mean, there are cases of flu, but there's just no sustainable spread because we're all locked up.
We're all locked up,
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't mean there's no flu. There's still flu.
All right. What's next on the docket? Well, that's probably more fun than this.
Yeah, I mean, look, before we move on, I mean, I'm just hopeful. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is probably the last stretch. Hopefully by the end of the summer, we'll be able to see some sort of normalcy. We'll see. I don't know. I'm still remaining hopeful.
If wishes were fishes, Poseidon would drown them in a toilet. All right, so what do we have next, G? Anything fun?
Huge news coming out of France. I don't know if you guys saw this. We're talking about bombshell news. The former president Nicolas Sarkozy was convicted of corruption, and he was sentenced to 3 years in jail, which could be reduced to 1 year to a 1 year.
2 years being served already.
I don't know if it's been served already.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Anyways, this dates back to allegations that he received illegal campaign financing from this lady called Liliane Bettencourt, who is the head of L'Oréal. And this is during his presidential run back in 2007. But it's funny how they came to this information because they were wiretapping him, the conversation between him and his lawyer for another investigation into the alleged into some alleged financing coming out of Libya for that same exact campaign. So while they're listening into those conversations, they find out that he had offered a judge this prestigious job in Monaco in return for confidential information about the other case, the one with Liliane Bettencourt. So they're like, what the hell is going on over here? There's another case. So that opened the door to that one. Look, he's going to be appealing his cause, so that can, I mean, it could take God knows how long before it's finalized. But here's what's funny. I mean, I don't know of that many countries that don't give a shit about who you are and what you've done. There's one justice, and regardless of your name, you're gonna be sentenced if whatever you did was wrong. Yeah. And in France, especially, they've done this already with Jacques Chirac, who was also a former president, and in his case, they went. Obviously, it was after his presidency that that all this happened, but they went as far back as to the time where he was the mayor of Paris. And at that time, they had discovered that there were positions being paid at the city hall that didn't really exist. So they were paying for positions that nobody was there working. So exactly where that money went.
Little fun fact: Jacques Chirac discovered Chief Keef. Little known fact.
What?
Yeah.
Carry on. I don't get that joke.
I'm lost too. I don't know.
Well, the people who it was for get it.
Chief Keef, eh?
Okay.
Maybe I'm just too old. I don't know. I'm like a month older than him, so.
Yeah. So moving on. I was just thinking, because when I was reading that article, I was wondering if there was any other country, for example, in Europe, and I was thinking of Italy. Did Italy finally convict Berlusconi or not?
No.
For what? For being too cool for school? Come on, man. That's not a crime.
I had read
for having a pornocracy?
Yeah, I don't know, like a gangsterism or...
You remember that, Pantelis?
Pornocracia. I remember that, yeah.
Es un pornocracia! The old Italian woman screaming at him in the streets. So good.
Wasn't it him that someone launched like this little statuette? It was like this rally. They were walking down the street.
It was a dildo.
No, it was a little round statuette, and it got him right in the head.
I don't remember that.
You know what he did in Milan? Yeah. Because they had a because he had a problem with illegal immigration. At the time, I think it was a lot of illegal Albanians. So they said, this is crazy, because they're illegal. They can't vote. It just caused another problem. So everybody come. He opened the doors to the stadium. Come to San Siro, I think it was.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, we're just going to sign you up and just make you citizens. It'll make things easier. And then as soon as it was filled up, he just got the army to come in. He's like, all right, now you're going on the boat. We're shipping you back.
I remember that.
Yeah, he's done some crazy shit, bro, this guy. He's like, I'm not taking those methods. Just get the military in here. Let's figure this out. Like, he would just do whatever the fuck he wants. While banging strippers. Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's move on to the UN.
You can't get any more than the UN.
Pantelis' favorite. Crazy situation happening over at the UN. And we spoke about last week or a week before about the military coup happening in Burma, where the president was kidnapped by the military. Like this whole thing happening. And there's a military junta now that's in place. So a couple of days ago, during a special meeting of the General Assembly, the UN General Assembly, the ambassador of Myanmar or Burma went against the military regime, and he pleaded for the end of this coup that has already caused so many deaths and this instability in the country. And at the end of the speech, he raised his three fingers. It's the symbol of the movement over there that is against the junta. So immediately...
What is it? It's just this?
Yeah, it's three fingers, I think, yeah.
Any three fingers?
I think it's, I don't know. In the picture, he has these three up. So anyways. Okay. So immediately the regime issues a letter to the UN saying that the ambassador is fired. So he will no longer be representing our country. But at the same time, that same ambassador sends a letter to the UN Secretary General explaining to him that he was appointed by an elected government and that this hostile regime doesn't have any authority whatsoever to make that decision, and therefore he will be remaining on as the ambassador.
But the UN sent a reply, said the general reply, do you have any hot kids that we can bang and we'll help you, or else we're not in? Is that what they said? Did they want to
that's not
kidnap
what
young
it
children for sex trafficking? Because if
that's
they
not-
don't have any of those, then they're not in normally the UN.
So look, everyone is lost right now. They're like, okay, who's the representative? We don't know what's happening. The UN said that they will be investigating. They'll be looking into because they got two contradicting letters.
be
So they'll be
investigating.
looking into it before making a decision. Like, I don't get it, man. What is there to investigate on instead of
Who's
playing?
paying him?
Normally, the UN pays you.
Oh, they pay the diplomats.
I think so. Yeah. No,
I thought the country does.
maybe.
I
I'm
don't know
not
about that, George. That wouldn't make sense.
Why wouldn't it make sense?
Why wouldn't it make
You're
sense?
appointed by a government. That government pays you. You're a government employee.
No,
You got-
there's
you got
something weird
working
when
at
you
the UN. It's kinda
when
like-
you work at the
it's kinda
UN,
like
you're a
Europe.
UN employee.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Oh, yeah?
Europe. Yeah, it's kind of like Europe electing the Euro parliamentarians. They're paid by the European
Yeah.
Parliament. I would assume it's the UN. I'm not.
It's,
a good-
from what I know, it's the UN normally. They have payrolls for this type of shit.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Interesting.
But it's a good question. I don't know. Maybe we're wrong. So yeah, like what I understand is what is there exact that you need to investigate on? Like, stop playing the fucking diplomat. Why don't you come out publicly instead and deplore
Yeah,
what's
we do.
happening? Don't recognize this new regime. Demand international sanctions against it, and just fucking
Focus.
put your pants on, dude, and do the job that you're there to do. We don't know. We're gonna read the letters. We're gonna investigate, see, because they're too contradicting. Like, dude, there's a fucking military regime that just took over and kidnapped an elected official. What are you doing?
They're like, yeah, so we kidnap people all the time. What's the difference?
I don't know, man. This just once again falls under the category of
Huh? That's the category.
If you want to know how much good the UN could do, just look at all the good they and the Clinton Foundation did when they went to Haiti. Just look at all that good that they did.
So much good. So much freedom.
Yeah, so much missing children.
Sexy children.
I hate these people so much, dude.
Did George freeze?
He's a little shocked. He's a little shocked.
He really is shocked. George,
that
it's
we're going-
okay. We're just
that we're
all
going
jokes,
hard at the
right?
UN. That we're going hard at the UN. But that's what happens, bro.
The UN got him.
The UN.
Oh,
got-
Oh,
He's
no.
back.
It's back.
the goddamn unlobby. Oh, he's back. George, are you back?
I don't understand how this happens fuck all the time.
Well, the internet,
Yeah,
George.
Bosnian internet in
Well,
Brussels.
it's a whole...
Bosnian
It's pronounced
internet.
Brossard.
I thought it was Brossard. It says Bosnia, bro. Hey, did you hear, George, about it was in Twitter this morning. They're trying to cancel. Well, they're canceling the publication of 6 Dr. Seuss books.
No, why?
They said because it promotes racism, or Dr. Seuss is there's racist
Racism
ideas.
with what? They're all imaginary things over there. They're just
Yeah, but they said they had different points of view back then. It's kind of like watching any movie from the 90s now and then being like, can you shut that off? There's no social distancing or masks. This is insensitive. It's a little crazy to see things in the but that's what they said. They said because they don't want these books to influence. So it's like they're dangerous books. They're gonna influence
Which books,
children
you know?
negatively, huh?
Do you know which books?
I don't know which 6.
'Cause I
But
know
wait
that
till
the
CNN
cat
gets the
in the
Quran.
hat-
Let's see what they do once they get to that book. Let's see how that one influences people.
Which one?
The Quran.
Oh, boy.
Let's see how CNN deals with that one.
Because the cat in the hat, I always assumed was an analogy for a black jazz musician.
Could be. I don't know. It's
That
weird.
cool cat in his hat, Scat, spat-a-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
I don't know. I don't.
I think it's
If
guys,
we're
honest-
going for
like
Dr. Seuss, and the only reason why I'm saying this is because it's not like I'm going to read a Dr. Seuss book, but it's such a slippery slope.
I mean,
Well, yeah.
I don't remember ever a point in history where the people burning the books were the heroes.
For the record, Mein Kampf is still sold on Amazon. So there's such a
Who gets the money for that book when it sells? I wonder.
none of your business.
Kind of funny.
It's such a fantastically goofy time that we live in.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
It's
Scary
crazy.
stuff.
I mean, a book is also a stamp of the period that it was written in, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
can read a book that was written
Yeah.
centuries ago, and if you read it with today's understanding, you're a complete idiot. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to put it in context, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know. I mean, Karl Marx, his books are available. They make absolutely no sense today. But when you read them in the context of,
George with the big statements.
I love George. He's like, hold on, let me shit on communism 1 second. I come back. I love that.
Yeah.
Good, George.
No,
Good.
but that's what it is. But maybe it made sense back in the day when
Yeah.
there was like this whole industrial revolution, and you needed to protect,
Yep.
you know, the workers, and I
The
get
workers.
it, but read it and put it in the context that it was written in. But Dr. Seuss, come on, man, like what's bad about Dr. Seuss?
Yeah. It's like the people that'll take the Bible or the
Again,
Quran
again,
or
we don't know
whatever
what books,
and
maybe,
read it in
maybe those
our
books are
current.
bad, but I highly doubt it. But this goes back to we spoke last week about Mr. Potato Head. Like everyone seems to be waking
Don't
up.
go back
now.
to Mr. Potato Head, George. The Discord went nuts with how obsessed you were with it.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm obsessed. It's just crazy how. No, just to
By the
get
way,
on.
can I just say
Pantelis'
something?
Point is that everyone now is waking up and they're like, let's look at our branding. Can we get affected? Is this going to be a boomerang thing? Are we gonna be affected by all this fucking cancel culture?
Well,
Like everyone at this point is probably looking at their brand and thinking, can we suffer repercussions?
Yeah, but you know what the best part about all this is, George? That the people
And
that are going
they think they're being proactive, but it's just stupidity. That's what it is.
But the people that are actually going to be influenced or read these books do not get any of the subtext that the adults are finding now. So if a child sees, I don't know, a bear with a Russian hat or whatever, they don't understand that it's like, oh, Russian. They don't get that. For them, it's just characters. You get it? So
bear with a hat.
the overreaction, because that's what they have. They have a lot of like stereotypical characters, from the time. But the kids don't get that. The kids aren't going to be racist. The kids don't see that kind of stuff. They just see characters. They're fictional creatures,
man. There are two little kids usually.
No, but there's like
there's just figments of like it's all.
There's the
made
Chinese
up
boy
stuff.
that's eating with chopsticks, and they go like, because he writes, the Chinese boy who eats with sticks. They go, that's fucking racist. Well, I mean, they do eat with chopsticks, so I don't know why that's super racist. But I'm just saying that's it's the examples that I saw given. So it's not a case of where does it come from. Like I see what they're talking about. In another context, it could seem weird, but little kids aren't. Unless you build it into them, little kids aren't gonna be racist and be like, "Yo, in this fucking book, your people, are dressed like cats," and it's not gonna happen. It's not a real thing.
Yeah. Whatever, man.
Did Phil leave?
It just seems that every single week there's just something new. Like I missed that one, but we'll see. Well, let's wait next week. We'll probably be talking about another brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
For me, it's just funny that they're like, we're stamping out evil, and this is where they go. And it's like, guys, dude, if you really want to go that far back, we're gonna start taking everything out of context. You can't have the Quran or the Bible or anything if you want to take it out of context and shit.
Yeah.
Can't have anything. And why are we scared? Why are we burning shit? Why don't we show it? Like even Mein Kampf, right? I make fun of the fact that it's sold online, but even that, don't you want to know if somebody's like, what the fuck was this guy thinking? He's a wacky guy. You read it and you're like, yeah, this guy's a fucking lunatic. You don't want to be like, oh, the reason why they're hiding it is because he must have had some progressive ideas they don't want us to know about.
Whatever, man.
Anyways, I'm against book burning. I don't like. I rather the books are out there and then it's at your leisure you can learn and you know what you like or you dislike. So that's me. I don't think this is the craziest big deal ever. It's not because it's not like kids are gonna be without lessons. Whatever the fuck lesson was in X book that they stopped, you're gonna find another book. So it's not the end of the world. It's just the fact that we're really reaching with all the problems in the world. We're really reaching at shit now.
What the fuck is up with the flag, dude? What the fuck are you doing, man?
Because you went anti-communism, bro. USA, bro.
It's not just the USA. Any logical country is against communism, Poseidon.
Yeah, no.
Your worldview is very limited.
But speaking of cancel culture, there's another one that just came up, and this is like at a much larger scale here in Montreal.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that. There's a petition to change our airport's name from Pierre Elliott Trudeau to René Lévesque.
Why do we keep changing names of that fucking airport?
Let me tell you what's happening because there's a pretty funny story behind this. Basically,
Hold on a second. Before you continue, George, I want to say something. Pierre Elliott Trudeau, you could say whatever the fuck you want. At least he was an international guy. René Lévesque was known for being a bad driver. So I don't know why would name an airport after him.
a drunk and a smoker. No, but there's a funny story to this. Like there's a petition right now that is being signed and it's requesting this change. It was initiated by the Société Saint-Jean-Baptiste. If you guys don't know it, basically it's like a separatist mouthpiece located here in Montreal. These guys organize all these rallies and all these. I think they organize the Saint-Jean parade. And it's fine. I mean, they're separatists and they're right to do whatever they want. But this came up after old telegrams were found from a U.S. diplomat who, during a meeting with a minister from the Trudeau cabinet, and we're not talking about Justin Trudeau now. We're talking about his dad, Pierre Elliott Trudeau. So back in the day, I guess they were communicating with telegrams. So they picked up a couple telegrams where he was in a conversation with a minister in Trudeau's cabinet, during which conversation Trudeau. He was apparently told that when René Lévesque was first elected in the mid-70s, Trudeau had asked Mr. Desmarais, Desmarais is the founder of Power Corporation, like one of the biggest companies here in Quebec, to move a huge chunk of its operation to Ontario and to create this huge instability in Quebec with respect to the economy and the unemployment, and just to stick it to René Lévesque. So this is what they're claiming. And because of this, he is not worthy of having, for example, an airport named after him, and we should change it. But given the severity of these claims, obviously you have the Bloc Québécois that is furious, right, over this thing, and they've been promoting this petition.
This thing that never happened.
Well, here's the thing now. Nobody is alive today to validate anything of that, especially to see if whether or not that diplomat may have perhaps misinterpreted the conversation, or if that conversation ever happened in the first place. Of course, it's on a telegram. So, I mean, you don't send a telegram with stupid information. I mean, something must have happened, but we don't know what.
What is a telegram exactly?
It's kind of like sending a tweet or a text message today, or
is it like a fax? It comes through fax.
I don't know how it worked. I have no idea how it worked, but it's like, let's say the equivalent of an email, right? So the guy's reporting back to whoever, and he has this thing written. Now, the only person alive today is this old minister that served under the Trudeau government, who was questioned and said that there is absolutely no way in hell that Trudeau ever envisioned such a thing. Never was it even discussed, and it would be absurd to even imagine someone of, someone like Trudeau, for example, taking away a huge corporation from Quebec. So it's complete. It has to be completely false. The spokespersons from Power Corporation also said that there's no way that ever happened, and that they claim that any prime minister would know that doing such a thing is nearly impossible, especially at that particular time, and especially for a company of that magnitude to just turn the key, close up shop, and leave for another province, right?
Can I just say, George, I'm first of the whole naming thing. I think I'm against naming random shit after random people. If someone built the airport, if they put, I understand it, carrying their name, or a street, an important street for a person. But the fact that we're fighting always over, this should be named after this person, this should be, and it's always buildings that the people never fucking stepped foot in. It's so crazy to me.
No, but it's very common. It's very common to honor past politicians.
Honor them with something that makes sense. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's not the first time. I mean, look, we have streets named after them. We have different monuments. We have all these things. That's not the problem.
No, I'm not saying it's a problem, but I'm saying, why don't we start doing that proactively with stuff that makes sense? You know what I mean? Like Berlusconi, they could name a local whorehouse after him. That would make sense. And they could be like, he was here every week and he was a very good customer. That would make sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, the argument back in the day, because you said, I don't know who, it was you that said that he was more of an international figure, like, putting Canada kind of on the map, taking away, signing the Canada's constitution, repatriating it from the monarchy. So in that respect, they're like, you come into Canada, you land into Montreal. Of course, he was a prime minister elected out of Montreal. So it kind of made sense at that time. I don't have a problem with naming, even if they're not liberal or regardless of the party. You were a public servant. You served your country, or you served your province. I have no problem at all naming streets or monuments after these elected officials. The airport, though, I agree that, look, can we just eliminate partisanship? Why don't we just call it Montreal International Airport?
There we go. I mean? That's what I'm about.
Like, do we need to have a politician? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm just curious to see where this is going to go. I mean, this is just baseless. They found a telegram and they can't validate anything. How do you know that guy just didn't write bullshit on it? Like, how do you know? Like, we're just going to jump to conclusions once again and say, you know what? Fuck it. That guy was evil. He wanted to destroy Quebec. How dare he
probably did
erase him from our history? Come on, man.
And also, we shouldn't name our streets just based on genders, all right? The Trans-Canadian Highway. How about the Men's Canadian Highway? How about that?
Nonsense.
Of course it's nonsense. Completely ridiculous. It's a good joke.
I'm good. I'm gonna bow out of this conversation.
Yeah, I agree. I like Montreal Airport, Toronto. Like, I don't think it needs to have someone's name. And if it does, you've decided that's the name of this place. But to keep fighting, it's so stupid. Especially people that aren't even around anymore to enjoy it. Just name something that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anytime a homeless guy gets hit by a car, we should call it, oh, he got René Lévesque. We should do that kind of stuff.
He got René Lévesque. Yeah. So there's a lot of comments online because, and obviously it's all these liberals that are, it's the counter wave, right? So you have the separate saying, erase his name. What a horrible person and what a disgrace, blah, blah. And then you have all the other ones saying, we're going to name it after René Lévesque, the guy that ran over homeless.
Yeah, but it is true that Trudeau Sr. showed his colors, and I don't think he liked us very much. I don't think he was a big fan of Quebec.
Because he played the card of the Canadian. Canada, Quebec is part of Canada, and we have to see Quebec on an equal playing field like the rest of the provinces.
Yeah,
so
I love Canada. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna fucking hate Alberta. I like how Alberta is. I want Alberta to keep their Albertan culture. I'm not gonna shit on them.
Yeah. I don't think he hated Quebec, but just the fact that he wanted Quebec to be on an even playing field, regardless of the fact that Quebec has always been claiming that we are a unique society, we speak for we should be considered differently. He wanted nothing. He wanted none of that. Look, it's his view of things, right? I mean, the guy was a federalist in all sense of the word. Things have obviously changed though since the 60s.
Why can't you be both? That's what I don't get. Why can't you love Canada but also love the separate cultures that each province, each place has, and embrace that? Why do you have to be like, because I love you all?
Well, that's where we are. Well, that's where we are right now, right? I mean, I think it was Harper, the first one that came out and officially recognized Quebec as a nation. And when we talk about nation, we're not talking about the English definition of nation. I think we've had this conversation before. Like, it's the French definition of nation that is
people, a culture, something.
Yeah, exactly.
Substance,
People, a culture, exactly. So I mean, that's where we are. We're at now. But guys, this debate has been ongoing for decades, and don't think it's over yet. I can guarantee you that the next federal election and definitely the next provincial election is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be primarily based on that, but there's going to be a huge focus on the language issue and Quebec nationalism. I mean, based on what's happening right now, I would be absolutely not surprised. So it's just an ongoing thing, right? Anyway, I don't know if it's messed up. It's just the reality. I mean, that's how it is. Did Pantelis?
Everyone wants to feel special.
Okay, I just switched my screen.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Anyway.
Bosnia down.
Chris Delia is back in the news.
Oh yeah, what did he do?
Poseidon, you want to pull up an article? Because I don't know all the details.
I watched some movie where he plays a drag queen stepfather, and he was great in that.
Yeah, he can probably act. Yeah.
No, he was. I mean, I've seen him act in other things, and it was just fine. But here he was like, I didn't even realize it was him until like
Poseidon,
3/4 of the way into the film.
Okay, so I found an article here. So apparently after he came out with the apology video, there's a woman named Jane Doe accusing comedian of soliciting child pornography when she was 17. The comedian denies the allegations made against him in the lawsuit filed Tuesday.
Yeah, so this girl says that when she was 17, they had sex, and that she sent him naked photos, and because she's not 18, that counts as child porn. And and she's going after him now for money. I don't know what to say about this fucking. It's such a weird situation because some of
Is there proof?
I don't know. They're suing him. He says he's vigorous design, but I have no idea what to say because first of all, what's weird is that in some states, 16 is the age of consent, and in others it's 18. So does it matter where he is or where she is? Like it's so fucking.
Good question.
I have no idea how this shit works. I have no. Also,
how old was he at the time?
It was like 5 years ago. When was this? 6 years ago?
I don't even know how old he is now. So
No, he was an adult. He was like in his 30s, guaranteed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
that's not debatable. She was young and he was in his 30s. But I don't know if he knew how old she. Like, there's a lot that's not said. You know what I mean? And also the wording of some of the things I read yesterday was a little strange. Like she goes, he used this power, over her, this and that, to track him, to force her, track her down. But he's the famous one. He doesn't know who the fuck she is. She tracked him down. It's not. So it's. And I'm not saying it's excusable. I'm just saying some of the wording and the timing seems a little weird. So we're about to see what happens with this guy. But that would be fucked up, dude. Huh? Like they go, well, technically, it's kiddie porn, and you. This guy's done, bro. If that's the case, that's crazy shit.
Well, what's happening with
it? Was done already.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is he done with his court from the first case, or
there's no court? There was no court in the first case.
Is it the same thing? Is it the same situation? I mean,
no. The first thing that happened was they said that he was basically a fiend. At first, it was that he was rude. A lot of women complained that he would bang us, and then he wasn't friendly with us anymore, which is not a crime, but it looked bad on him. Then they said that there was girls that he was talking to that they would reach out to him when they were like 17 or something. And then when he would find out how old they were, he'd be like, no, fuck that. You're too young. And then as soon as they were legal, then he would start talking to them again. And that's grooming and it's rude and stuff like that. So all that shit together, you're grooming young girls. People were like, yo, what the fuck's going on? And he was married, I think, at the time. And people were like, yeah,
I didn't know he was ever married, actually.
Yeah, he's married. He has a kid, yeah. So people were just like, what the fuck? So it was a bad light on him. And he had to back out because he looked like the typical douchebag, he's trying to bang everything, even if it's 17 or whatever. So he's
like the Dane Cook of the 21st century.
I don't know if Dane Cook banged 17-year-olds, bro.
Dane Cook just had this bad vibe about him. People just hated him for no reason.
Oh no, this is completely different than Dane Cook. Dane Cook was a stolen jokes situation with Louis C.K.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So anyway, so this happened. So people feel weird. They're like, wait, what the fuck's this guy doing? Because you don't know what his intentions are. You're like, okay, so he backed out of the limelight for a while. He didn't do anything illegal, but he looked like a fucking creep. He was at that fence at the border. And then now he came back in to explain something last week. He goes, look, the truth is I was messaging all kinds of chick. I didn't do anything illegal, but I was banging all kinds. I didn't care about anything but banging. Which is like, okay, at least he's honest, but I don't, like, who the fuck cares? That's a personal shit thing. You don't have to tell us, if you're banging, like, it's not our business. But now this, even if he didn't intend to, even if she told him I'm 20, but he still received naked pictures of a minor. Whew, that's a fucking sexualized pictures of a. Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's fucking. I'm not saying bad or good. I'm just saying
obviously, I mean, there's the whole legal aspect, but when you think of 40, 50-year-old men that are running after even 20-year-olds, even if you're legal, 18, whatever, like there's an issue there, dude. Like, I don't know. There's an issue. I'm just seeing this as the dad of 2 daughters, and it's a little disturbing. I don't know.
Well, there you go. But
it's a lot disturbing.
But the thing is this is the weird thing, is the going after, because he's not a regular guy in the street.
What do you mean? Like I understand what you mean, but what are you trying to say?
Like, it's not like he's cruising schools. He's replying. Yeah, he's replying to messages from all these people. And he's, some of them are going to be fake. Some of them, and I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just saying if he's getting this many messages in every city, some of these people are either going to be fake. They're going to be guys pretending they're girls. Some of them are going to be underage, saying that they're adults. Yeah, and I'm not justifying anything. I'm just saying, in the wider context of it, that's 100%. There was guys that messaged him that pretended to be girls. 100% there was underage girls that said they were older. 100% that there was older women that claimed to be younger. 100%. So what I'm saying is, I don't know how aware he was. If this happened, I don't know how aware he was.
What would it be? Let's say hypothetically, right?
Yeah.
Let's say some 16-year-old girl loves him, sends him a message. He doesn't reply, so she sends him nudes. He never replies to her.
Yeah.
Is he now on the hook for having those?
I don't for having, if he keeps them, but I don't think he's on the hook. It's more of, she said he asked and he told her do this, do that, which.
No, I know. I just mean, I'm just thinking.
So here's the thing.
I'm just trying to think about how the legality.
If she said, do you want me to send you nudes? And she said she was 25 or 21 or whatever. And the guy said, so in his head, he's like, yeah, it's an adult. So he doesn't know when he's saying shit. But if this comes out and in the thread she says I'm 16, I'm 17, and he asks for naked pictures, bro, I don't know how. I think you're fucked at that point.
Yeah, at that point,
Like,
you're
that's
fucking
crazy.
rightfully so.
Yeah, you just asked a 16-year-old to send you nudes. So how do you
No, that's-
justify
yeah,
that?
You're fucked at that point. I mean, unless you're 17, then I guess.
But even if he's 17, you
just
mean?
saying.
Yeah, no,
I mean, yeah, like,
hypothetically, no. But for him, dude, this guy's he was 32 years old or something.
That's fucked.
It's if she says I'm 17, he's like, all right, the next logical step is for me to ask you for nudes. That's fucked up. But again, I have no idea what happened. So
The next logical step.
I have no idea what
my name
happened.
is Chris. How old are you? 17. May I have your nudes?
Yeah, we don't know what happened. This could be a fake thing. This could be an exaggerated. We have no idea what happened because they might come out and she might be like, I'm 25 and then sends it. We don't know. Or this might never have happened at all. We don't know. I'm not gonna.
As a general rule
I'm not
of
gonna
thumb,
judge the guy if I don't know what the fuck happened. I'm just saying if it went in either one of these scenarios, there's some places where it's like, okay, he got tricked, and there's other places where, bro, what the fuck are you doing? So
But
we'll
just
wait
don't
and see.
send nudes.
But here's what I don't
Ever.
understand, man. And again, I mean, I don't know how the industry works. I mean, I don't know how big he was, but
Yeah.
You're big at one point.
yeah, no. But when you're like, I would imagine that you have people that get the messages for you. Like, I mean,
No, not always.
No, it
but when-
depends who you are and what you do. Like a lot of comics, like me, I refuse that. I do everything independently, right? So
Right.
I don't. Chris
I would
Delia
just
would
imagine
read all
that
his
when you-
messages.
I'm just imagining that when you reach a certain level, it's like you don't take care of these things anymore. You're just there. You go, you do your show, you get the fuck out.
No, I mean, it
and-
depends on the person.
It depends on the person, yeah, and it depends
Yeah.
what you are. Like if you're a pop star, there's a lot of prep. But comics, once you're ready and you're doing your hour, you're ready. You just have to do one sound check. It's not like you have hours of prep for each show.
Yeah.
So he would just you hang around the cities. You're bored. That's why I like bringing Poseidon people on the road with me because then you have something to do.
Right. I don't
Yeah,
know.
do Poseidon.
Do Poseidon, bro. But I'm not trying to judge I'm not trying to say he's guilty or whatever because I don't know what the fuck. I'm just saying this came out now and it could go either way. It could be like a extortion thing. It could be a real thing. It could be a fuck. I don't know. Storm
Could be
20
both.
fucking 5. Like it could be both. I have no fucking idea. I'm just saying that he's in the news again and it's fucking crazy. Because
I
this
didn't
is
see
something
anything
you don't
about
come back from. If it turns out that this is exactly what they're saying it is, I don't know how you come back from that.
Well,
In the
he's
current
already
climate,
done.
even if it's not real, he's not coming back from it.
Yeah, exactly. He's already done.
No, I think he could have, because he didn't do anything illegal before. He just looked like a guy who was trying to bang everyone. He could come back. He still has his fans. But if they find out that you're going to minors and you're asking them for naked pictures, bro, my
He had done that
favorite
show,
favorite artist. If I find out the fucking Weekend is telling 16-year-old girls, "Yo, send me nudes," I couldn't listen. I'd be like, I'm done.
Didn't Drake do it also? He was grooming, right?
They said Drake was grooming because he was talking to Bobby Miller, whatever, the girl from Stranger Things. But grooming, it feels like they're casting a very wide net at this point.
Yeah.
Because she said in an interview, "Yeah, I talk to Drake all the time. I ask him for advice." And they're like, "He's grooming this young girl."
Maybe they're friends.
But that's the thing. You're just mad that Drake is talking to a girl that you weird adults are trying to bang. Like that's that's old people being weird. Like just the kids. Well, how old is the girl? 15. Leave her alone. Let her grow up. Yeah,
What's
they're
her name? Millie Bobby
hypersexualizing.
Brown?
her. Yeah, that's her name. Yeah,
What's her name?
Millie Bobby Brown. She never had sex with Drake, from what we know.
She was born in 2004.
What is that? 10? How old is this girl?
She's 17.
Poseidon knows how to do that math on the fly.
So she must have been.
Oh, no, no, I googled it.
She must have been like 15. I don't fucking know. I don't care. It's just not my friend. But I hated 20-year-olds when I was 20, so it's not gonna happen now.
Fair. George, you said you were going to give good news, and everything's been kind of weird.
No, I didn't say I was going to give good news. I said I'm going to focus on giving one piece of good news to start off the show with positive stuff, and then the rest is just downhill. Speaking of downhill,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw this. The beautiful hotel downtown, Le Cristal, on De la Montagne and René Lévesque, it announced that it's suspending its operations, undetermined yet for how long. What do you mean why? There's nobody there. They have no. They have no. Why? Why would they do that?
Sorry.
Yeah, look, I mean, the pandemic has completely destroyed the tourism and the lodging industry in Quebec, obviously specifically Montreal, which is its core. But it's just so funny because in the same article that I read, it mentioned that over 50 hotels in Montreal, in the greater area of Montreal, were forced to close down because of the pandemic. But since they have since restarted their operations, I'm just wondering how come they weren't able to do that. So I don't know. It's just sad to see how a city has completely crumbled. And this year this next year doesn't seem to show any sort of light, at the end of the tunnel for these businesses as well, right? I mean, we don't know. From what the government is saying, there doesn't seem to be any. There don't seem to be any signs of lifting any restrictions or going easy. It's just crazy. Summer's around the corner, and these people, I can't even imagine what it must feel like. But I try to put myself in their shoes, and they're thinking, okay, the busy season is starting. Downtown Montreal. Normally it's festival season. Let's get prepared. There's all these things that they're looking forward to, and this time around it's just one giant question mark. Like, what are we doing? So this it's crazy. I mean, this hotel was just built in 2008, and it was very successful. It was a very popular spot.
Are you talking about the Four Seasons?
No, Le Cristal. It's right on the corner of De la Montagne and René Lévesque. It's a big one. It has a nice, beaueful dome.
René Lévesque.
Yeah,
I was
I know
thinking
exactly
of
where it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Just across the Bell Center there.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I was thinking of Buffet Le Cristal.
yeah, no.
I feel fucked up about this. I feel fucked up that like the weather's gonna start shaping up and downtown is all boarded up.
Yeah. Well, I saw a bunch of people sharing, everyone who says downtown is dead has never been downtown. And they were showing pictures from last week of how there was a bunch of people on like one intersection. I mean, it was the first nice day of the year. People
Hold on.
ventured out and were like,
But here's the best part. He goes, downtown is not dead, and they're showing a picture of people on an intersection. That doesn't mean you can have a million people walking down the street. Yeah. The fact that everything is closed down is what we mean by downtown's dead. We don't mean that downtown's off limits. We mean it died. The stores are closing. The hotels are closing. You fucking dummies.
Yeah.
It's actually shared by your arch nemesis, that photo.
Which one?
From CJD.
Oh, yeah. The guy's a fucking donkey, bro. What do you want?
I don't know why you hate him so much, but
he's a prick, bro. He's a prick. Wasn't he the one trying to start shit, Phil? I didn't start shit with him. He's the one trying to start shit.
I mean, I don't think he knew our names until we addressed his existence.
Oh, well, then he should have kept his goddamn mouth shut.
He did post a funny picture the other day where it was a tweet from Premier Legault where he's meeting with his.
I did see that. That was well played, but way that was his.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, he was talking about Pantelis was talking about the status of the French language
and
the reforms that are necessary, and then he made a grammatical error in the post.
I saw that.
And instead of reposting it, he just underneath wrote la réforme or le réforme.
Yeah, he wrote.
Yeah, he got the sex wrong of the. That was great.
But here's the thing: even though that's fucking hilarious within context, also people make spelling mistakes, grammatical all the time.
Yeah. But when you're making a fucking magnanimous post about how you're gonna fix the French language, it's probably best to not fuck it up.
Yeah, it is kind of funny
tweet
though.
And retweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It is kind of funny.
How I make delete the tweet? No, just put under. They understand. It's okay.
But he was made fun of online by the guy that didn't know how Amazon works.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
I that's one of those jokes that I can't support.
Yeah. Oh, you can't?
That's clearly not what was happening in that interview.
What? They delivered it to your house, not to your neighbors? That's wacky.
Who remembers
Where do you live
exactly?
in a goddamn cave? Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, go on.
You guys have so many inside things. I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
It's an old episode of This Just Thing.
Yeah.
No,
but they decided that damn this guy, he's dumb.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. We looked at the entire show and we're like, why is this guy surprised that Amazon delivers to your house? Where the fuck else are they going to deliver? So we're just addressing how they were talking about Amazon as if they were talking to retarded people about Amazon. And then...
they were talking to Karens.
And then I think he sent a message to my boy Bill.
Something happened, yeah.
Yeah, and that's when I was like,
no,
what?
Not directly to me.
No, it wasn't. I said my boy Bill. And that's when I was like, what the fuck? Is this really, motherfucker? And then...
I mean, all that means is people are watching.
I knew people are watching. It's just I didn't like that because we didn't go after him. We went after the show.
Let's drop it.
We went after the show for looking stupid. That's all we did. We made a comment on the show being like, who are you talking to? That they don't know that Amazon delivers. Where else are they going to deliver? Your fucking neighbor? Of course. Why would they deliver to your neighbor, not to you?
Question for you, since you're in that same period of nostalgia, the early years of This Just Thing, do you remember when you created the film My Whole Bit?
No.
I was looking for it last night. I was trying to find it because I wanted it.
It's on one of the This Just Thing episodes. I just said it.
I know that, but I don't remember how far back.
You gotta go.
Hey,
pretty far
Discord,
back.
if you're bored, can you find that clip for me?
When I first said it, who the fuck knows? No, I
Yeah,
got no
like
idea.
I want to find my reaction the first time you did it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I was just curious.
No idea. However, yeah, just going back to that, yeah, it was him then. We thought it was just a joke about the show, and then he started messaging people. That's when I was
took it
like,
personally.
yo, what the fuck? Yeah, when he took it personally, then I was like, all right, bro, you want to get personal? Let's do this.
I don't actually know the guy, for the record.
I thought you knew him. I thought he was your friend.
I don't know him personally. No, we've never met.
Well, whatever. He knows Bill. So, anyways.
Everybody knows Bill.
Yeah, I love Bill. So that's it. So he started this, and that's what happened. That's literally what happened. I didn't know. I didn't
the
have
Ice
any.
Hotel?
I had no issues with this guy.
No, not the Ice Hotel. Do you remember the backyard ice rink thing? The castle?
Yeah, that we were asked to not. We were asked to delete the footage. You remember that shit?
I remember that, yeah.
I was very upset with that too.
This just thing has ruffled a lot of feathers over the
Yeah,
years.
which is crazy. It was such a. That's what people don't know.
know.
The behind the scenes stuff. The message, like this, just thing was offensive to so many local buffoons.
But a lot of people really did not like that show.
Who asked you? to
Nah,
take-
we're not going to get into that. No, I refuse.
I can get into that, but
I don't want.
Phil's gonna have
don't
problems after, so I don't want to do that to Phil because
I
I
don't
like
want
him.
you to get into it.
Yeah,
I don't even know why I brought it up. I was just thinking, fuck.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
People have been trying to censor me for years. And they
Anyway.
try to censor me for shit that's not offensive. And all the really offensive shit that you could understand,
Yeah,
nobody
that's
says anything.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird. Interesting.
You will not
George
stop
is so
me.
confused.
Yeah, I mean, like, you guys have so many inside stuff there that is like, okay.
We've been out here, George, in the fucking
George.
trenches making content since before it was cool.
There's a reason why we are now supported by the Pantelis Nation fan group. That's why there's the Patreon, patreon.com/Pantelis, because we will not give in to our corporate overlords. All right, we're starting our own thing. Patreon.com/Pantelis. Join the Patreon. That's where you get exclusive content. You get the Pantelis bonus episodes that only ever appear on Patreon. And also, big thing, why a lot of people are joining the Patreon. That's the only place to get in bed with Poseidon live every Saturday at 4 p.m. Poseidon and Annabelle give you all the nitty and gritty about their sex lives. And I'm gonna tell you something, her sex life way more active than his. His sex life is having sex with her, hers is having sex with all kinds of strangers other than him. So it's pretty fun to watch that shit unfold every Saturday at 4 p.m. Also, Saturdays at 6 p.m., movie nights. Movie nights will be moving to a later time as soon as the curfew's over, but for right now, 6 p.m. is the time we watch movies. This Saturday, we'll be watching Clerks. Poseidon has yet to see Clerks. He's never watched Clerks. A classic, yeah. He's gonna watch it first time on the Patreon Discord this Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'd like to remind you that the two gentlemen that you see on your screen coming to us, one from a room down the hall, and the other one from the main streets of Brossard, both have podcasts. George from Brossard has the hit Just Us Dads podcast. It's a podcast by moms for dads. They talk about women falling in ice being saved by men. They talk about why men are so important in society. It's actually it's a pretty misogynistic podcast, but it's good. It's very, very good. It's Just Us Dads. If you have kids, if you know kids, if you hate kids, Just Us Dads is the podcast for you. It comes out every Friday on the YouTubes, on the Spotify, on the iTunes, or I guess Apple Podcasts now they call it, Google. Wherever the hell you get podcasts, they're available. Links are in the description. And George has a second podcast called the Backstage Podcast, where he interviews people in high society, highfalutin people, and they never have good audio, but they answer his goddamn questions. The Backstage Podcast, links in the description. Follow George, tell him we sent you. Also, Phil Balabanos, when he's not doing this and he's not making commercials, he could make your commercial, by the way, balabanos.com. Get over there, hire him. He's making highfalutin commercials. He's an award-winning filmmaker, so he makes commercials of the highest quality. He also has a podcast called Fill My Hole, where he goes around filling gaping crevices around the city. It's actually a very good podcast. He interviews a lot of people, much like George does, and he does it from the comfort of his super cool office. See that? So he does. Links in the description. Phil Balabanos. Follow them online. George has 2 podcasts a week now. Just Us Dads and The Backstage. Plus, if you count this one, he's got 4 podcasts a week. So follow these guys. Like their stuff. Share them. Help them grow. That's all you're going to get. All right. Next, what else we got, George?
Well, since we're talking about Legault, let's just stick with him for just 1 second because he came out last week or early this week, and kind of congratulated himself for the way that he managed the pandemic.
Well, that's good. That's nice. Self-love.
He's like, yeah, pat on my back. I mean, there was no better way to handle this situation, right? 1 year later, I don't see how we could have done things any better. He believes that Quebec managed the situation much better than any other province. He believes that we were the most prudent.
Debatable.
And we saw this last week when the official documents were released, showing that he disregarded many recommendations from from the health authorities. Some to a more strict level, some completely just ignored them. Like, for example, the schools, where he could have done much better. So he believes that everything that he did was done for the greater good of the population. And meanwhile, we have more than half of the deaths in Quebec here, in Canada, here in Quebec. Our industries have suffered much more than any other province. Our schools are completely mismanaged. I mean, the list can go on and on and on and on. And the whole point isn't to point the fingers, because, yes, we do understand that this was a new challenge for any political leader, right? Problem is that I don't know if I agree entirely with him. I think there are things that he could have done much, much better.
Like the curfew, not infringing upon our basic.
The curfew is saving
civil
us,
rights.
dude. It's protecting us.
Yeah. So I knew that this was gonna bring up some sentiment. So I just want to flip this over to you guys and ask you if you honestly think that we did the best we could over here.
Okay.
Oh, maybe the best they could.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking stupid. I mean, in that sense, yeah.
So,
like, if you asked me to run a marathon and I came in last, that's the best I can do.
Yeah.
Right?
But I'm not going to go that far. I'll tell you one thing. In the beginning, I appreciated him because he was so nervous. He took swift action, faster than Trudeau.
At the beginning he did.
So in the beginning, he did good. But you know what he proved to us? That he's one of the stereotypical guys that when you give them too much power, they get super overwhelmed and they become dictators. So because that's why we're the only people right now that still have a goddamn curfew. So he just started.
No, Ontario has one too.
Alberta, no, I thought they took it off.
No, there's no curfew.
There's no curfew. Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's just
us, huh?
Yeah. So so it's just us. Despite what Phil's trying to tell you, it's just us. So he got that power, and then he just started abusing it. He started abusing his power instead of it being for the greater good. It just started being like, no, I don't care what science says. Listen to me. I'm in charge. He fucking became Jinping Jew. He became the Chinese dictator. So that I don't like. You'd think that okay, he's trying his best. He wants to help out Quebec. He's getting a bit of power. He's using it right. But the second he's like, I'm for people's freedoms, which is why you are not free. If we catch you outside, you're getting a fucking ticket or what? It's crazy.
How about that?
It's fucking crazy, and no one else is doing that shit anymore. They know that that's not the problem. It just bothers me that he's still doing that. Like he's hopefully people remember this, that this is not a guy you want to give power to because he showed his true colors as soon as he got power, and we vote this guy out.
It's a shame though. Like he started off well. Honestly,
in the beginning of the pandemic. I was proud of him. I was like, yeah, he's going swift. He's not waiting. He's going swift.
Then
but then
just went sideways.
Then it went. But that's what happens.
Quebec really took the lead on that at a Canada level kind of thing, when they were meeting with all the premiers, like Quebec really had the lead, and they were actually sending their recommendations to Justin Trudeau on how to manage it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, their management in the early first month, in the early weeks of the pandemic, like after the first cases in Canada, I mean, was the greatest argument towards sovereignty I've ever seen. Like, look at Canada. They're a fucking shit show. We clearly know what we're doing here. Let's close our borders to the Canada and we're okay.
But then the scales tipped. Yeah, the second you get too much power, he's like 999. He went fucking nuts. He's like, no, I'm now.
Why was he saying no to everyone?
He was saying no to everyone. He was just saying yes to his. Not even to his yes man. Like science is against what he's doing too. It's just crazy. But it's fucked up because you have people who don't. They're like, the curfew doesn't bother. So here's the thing. It's either you really have zero understanding of the basic Western civilization view of civil liberties and freedom. That's why you don't get it. Or you have no life. And you're like, well, I never leave this house anyway, so it doesn't matter. But either way,
really scary.
Either way, you shouldn't impose that on other people. You shouldn't restrict people's freedoms just because you have nothing to do. You know?
You know what's starting to trip me out? The fact that I forgot we have a curfew and I'm home and locked down by 8 p.m. Like, I don't even think about it anymore. That's fucking scary.
That's very scary.
Most dangerous thing. Also, the fact, look, the masks and all that stuff, I understand that it's necessary right now.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
But we've gotten desensitized to the fact that it's like, you walk around and you're like, okay, man. Like, you don't even see masks anymore on people.
Oh, no, I'm not there yet.
No,
I still see masks
feel
on
and see
people,
my
but
mask. I forget it sometimes.
I mean,
I'm
they're
like,
there. I'm just saying, like, you don't realize that. I mean, we're so deep into this thing that it became kind of like a standard thing to do. Yesterday,
it's become a positive for me. People, because I wear my sunglasses and my mask, so people don't know who I am. I don't get hit
Yeah, I
on
do
as
that too.
much. I don't get spoken to by strangers a lot. So it's for me. I don't give a shit. I put it on. I go in the store, and I'm an anonymous person, so I don't mind that. But I don't like
Yvonne
the
said-
infringement on our civil rights and liberties. That's what I don't like.
I mean, yesterday we went to Toys R Us with the girls. We're like, oh, let's go buy them some toys or whatever, you know. So we got out of the car. I didn't put my mask on. We walk into the store. Nobody's at the door, obviously. So I walked in the store. I was walking in the store for like a good minute.
You forgot, yeah.
And it's just, for me, it's like, okay, whatever. I'm probably wearing it. Like, I'm just
I'm
not
probably
there. I
wearing
don't know.
it.
Like, you're there. You're like, okay, I'm in a store. I'm probably wearing a mask. I don't know. Like, I'm so disconnected, right? And the only reason I stopped, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Is because people were just looking at me as if I commit murder.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny.
People are
That's really
overdoing it though. The reactions to the no mask.
What's wrong? Is there anything
Well,
on
I
my
was talking with Poseidon about it this morning about elevator etiquette
Yeah.
in buildings because I live in a condo building,
Same.
and sometimes I forget to wear my mask in the building.
Me
I
too.
mean, it's not a rule, but it's a suggestion. And a bunch of the older residents have like rallied together, and they're like, "You're trying to kill us!"
Yeah.
And they go crazy.
Phil, I got a
So, I
funny.
mean, I just wear it.
I got a related
But
story.
like, if I see someone in the elevator and they're wearing a mask and I don't have mine, I straight up, I'm like, "Do you mind?" If they say yes, I get in. If they say no, I say, I'll take the next one. I forgot my mask, whatever.
Yeah, I have a similar situation that happens in my building. As you know, I am a bully. No,
Yeah.
so they have signs everywhere. They have maximum 2 people allowed in the elevator, and put your mask on if you can. Most of the times, whatever.
Yeah.
But if I forget the mask, I forget it. But the best is, so I'm in there, and there's another guy that comes in, and I'm cool with him. He's wearing a mask. I'm like, yo, you want to come? He's like, I don't give a shit. So he comes in, doesn't care, so we're waiting. So then the door's open and somebody wants to come in, and we let him come in. We're like, yeah, we don't mind, come in. And then he's like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you have to wear your mask. And then I go, really? Because we also have to be 2 people masked. So get the fuck out of here if that's the kind of rules you're gonna follow. And he's like, and I
That's
go, yeah,
amazing.
it's convenient when you want to follow. You want to break the rule when it's convenient for you to come in as a third person. But then you're gonna tell me, I go, get the fuck out. He's like, oh fuck. Walk out, yeah. We let you in, bro. We
fucking
let you
great.
in. We said, come on in. You're allowed to. And then you want to fuck with me like that? I don't play that shit.
So
What do you
did he
think
get
I
out?
was gonna do? Yeah, of course he got out. What do you think I was gonna do?
He walked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, of course he walked out, bro. It's fucking super stern. Yeah,
I mean, even if you weren't stern, by his own logic, he had to get out.
but he came in the beginning. That's what I'm saying. Is people take it when it's for them.
People are
They're willing to
fucking-
bend the made up rules.
Of course.
But I was-
I mean, there's some other weird stuff like in my building. I've noticed like there's this one guy. Every time he takes his trash out, he's basically in his underwear, but he's wearing a mask and a visor. So I wonder, is he just like a guy who likes to hang out in his underwear, or does he take off all his clothes to like minimize contagion? Like, what's happening?
yeah, he jumps
He's
in
an
the
old
shower.
guy, so it's not a pretty sight. It's creepy.
Oh man.
I don't mind
wait.
the.
I am not gonna miss fucking condo living when we get the fuck out of there.
What's happening? Are you guys anywhere
I
close?
officially am no longer a homeowner.
Yes.
We sold, and I
Very
got
good.
and I got a check. I've never seen a check with that much
Phil
money. 'cause it's a home,
is
right? I was
in
like, whoa.
the positive now. Financially, Phil is a millennial with positive income. So all of you guys who say millennials can't make it, Phil just sold a property. So you
I
can
was
do
always
it
a
too.
millennial with positive income, and I owned a home. Now I fell into the statistics. I rent.
All right, you
now.
know what? Phil is homeless. Forget what I just said.
Yeah.
Phil is homeless, technically.
Fill my home.
Yeah. No, you're gonna find another place. And here's the other thing:
No,
if
we're
you
gonna find
don't rush into anything. If you don't find a place that you like to buy, but there's another one that's for rent, rent that fucking place. Fucking pay rent. You have a nice
I
big
don't wanna
place,
rent.
and you have all that money in the bank to do shit with. Who gives a fuck?
I
For a
mean,
while.
that money is to buy a home, right? Like I'm very pessimistic in general. Like it's probably one of the reasons I ended up being so anxious in life because
Okay.
I always assume the worst. That way, if something good happens, I'm pleasantly surprised. But Anna's not like that. So like for me, I always look at a house that we like and I look at it from the worst possible perspective. For her, it's this like roller coaster of emotions. Like I love it, but now I hate it. What just happened? I froze. I love it, but now I hate it. And she's like, in the morning she'll love something, and then by noon she's like sad about it. So it's like wreaking havoc on her mental health.
It's
bad
a big purchase. It makes sense.
It is a big purchase. We actually found a house that we think is really cool for like a big reno job, but it's off island.
I was about to say how far. Yeah.
Well, it's not far. It's like the first exit after Montreal when you enter Laval.
Okay. Okay.
It's not bad. As far as Laval goes, it's prime.
Yeah, you're 15 minutes from here. That's
It's
not
an
the end of the
8-minute
world.
drive to the office.
Okay, that's not the end of the world at all, bro.
Yeah, it's not far. So, but I mean, the house, like, we've only seen it in photos. I don't really know what's going on inside the house, like under the walls, and it needs work. Like, it needs a new kitchen, it needs a new bathroom, it needs stuff.
I can't.
What'd you say, George?
I just can't. When I see shit that needs to be worked on, I mean, that's just me. I mean, people like that. They like the challenge. I don't.
I don't. That's not me. It's just that it's so well priced that I could spend a lot of money while I'm still renting and have it ready when I move in.
My stonks, my uranium stonks are up.
Oh, yeah? How much? I bought some too. You told me to.
Oh, they're well, they're high. I bought them at $13, and now it's at $22.
And now for stock tips with a retard. Isn't that what you're calling your show?
Yes. I should make a show called Stock Tards.
Stock tards.
Yeah.
Stock tards. Sounds like a
Tards.
breakfast thing you put in a toaster.
Yeah, no, but Phil, I mean, that's the challenge about the house hunting on the island. I mean,
Oh wow, they're really doing well. Good job,
Yes.
Pantelis. Thank you, sir.
And
That's my retirement right there.
nothing really has changed yet. You wait till the actual price of uranium goes up, and they start talking about reactors opening up. Phil, we will buy a boat.
A boat. I don't want a boat.
yeah, man, live on a boat.
I mean, I might get sick.
I wouldn't get a boat. I don't have any use
get
for a boat.
seasick. I
Unless
get
we move
seasick
to
on
Miami,
boats.
dude. If we move to Miami, I'm getting a goddamn boat.
That's different. It's Miami. You need a boat.
Yeah.
There's
Then
so many
again, if the
estuaries
stocks
and
don't
shit.
hit, I'm not gonna be able to afford a bicycle.
By the way, when you said let's buy a boat and I did this, what?
Because I go to, we'll get a boat if we go to Miami, and I'm like, well, then again, if the stock doesn't hit, we won't be able to afford bikes. So
That's true. That's true. Yeah, when you said that and I lifted, I just clipped my fucking elbow.
you're a walking calamity.
Yeah, I am a calamity.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're
I
quite
smashed
the
my elbow.
butterfingers.
Funny boat.
Hey, George,
yeah.
tell me about your latest episode of, before you go to the news, I'm just curious about Just Us Dadas. How was it?
Yeah,
me?
it was quite interesting. It was 2 hours of basically Phil just going over his life,
It was like a therapy session. It was great.
wasn't it? That's the whole point, man. It honestly,
You ever feel
it
like
was
just
fun.
strangling all of them, and then it's just silent? They're like, yeah, but we don't actually do it. And he's like, no, not that I would. No,
Phil, put the kid down. Okay.
yeah, not that I would actually do it. Sorry, babe.
No, it was. I don't get to speak to a lot of other dads. Like, I only have one friend who has kids who I speak to regularly, and it was interesting, especially Chris, because Chris is like ahead. He's got like 10 XP points, you know.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
He's got like 10 years on the rest of us, so he's like, yeah, okay. So and his daughter is the same age as mine, so it was interesting. George, I mean, you I speak to all the time, so I mean,
Yeah, but that's what it is. I mean, we get together, and obviously it's a lot of fun. But like you said, Pantelis, it's like a therapy session for us.
What
it
podcasting
really is.
is, yeah.
Also, it really shined a light on the dangers of drugs and podcasting.
Why, you were
it
high?
completely destroyed the runtime.
You were high.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna get stoned. I bought like a CBD strain just to like mellow me out, and I just went. No inhibitions. I said a bunch of shit I shouldn't have said.
But the
I
funniest-
hate them.
the
Phil, we can't
funniest
edit
thing
this.
was-
It's live.
The funniest thing was the transition. It's like Phil's like, "All right, guys, before we start, I'll just because everybody was pretty much doing things. I think Chris was eating yogurt, and he's like, okay, let's get some stuff before." So Phil is like, "Okay, I'll just run out just a quick second. I'll be right back." He comes back a minute later. Everything is normal, and then it's like he got hit by like this 18-wheeler. What's going on,
Oh, God.
guys?
No, it wasn't like that.
no, it wasn't like that. But we're like, Phil, everything all right there? Yeah, man.
Man, it was fucking the equivalent of taking a CBD drop. It just like took away my inhibitions.
You told Chris that the worst part about the pandemic is that you've missed his mom.
That's the truth.
That's a weird
It's like,
thing to say.
You know what sucks about the pandemic, Chris? I haven't seen your mom. Like, what
guy's
the
like,
fuck
what?
is going on here?
I miss her so much.
I used to run into her all the time. She's an interesting woman.
Yeah.
It's a weird sentence to tell a man.
It is. It was. It absolutely is.
No,
So
it's
George,
a lot
what's
of
next? What kind of news you bring to the table?
I wasn't sure if I was gonna say it or not, but I'm like, you know what, like, fuck it, let's just do it. There's the report that finally came out in the U.S. about I don't know if you guys remember the Washington Post journalist that was killed in Turkey, Khashoggi.
Oh, he was killed in Saudi Arabia.
No, he was killed in an embassy in Turkey.
Oh, the Saudi Arabian embassy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So the report came out. Basically, they're blaming the crown prince. They think that he gave his approval. Obviously, the Saudis are denying all this. The problem is that
Talk about the
I
problem,
think-
George. I'm gonna go take a leak.
yeah. Problem now is that Biden doesn't want to take any action. He doesn't want to, he doesn't want to impose any sanctions or whatever because he doesn't want to affect the relationship. But it's like, I just find it strange in the sense that we know what happened based on the evidence that we collected in the investigation that was done. We know that he gave the green light. Why are we selective in the way we go forward with these types of
But
things?
how did
right?
they get away with it in another country?
What do you mean? How did
Well, because the embassy was in Turkey.
the embassy was in Turkey?
So
Apparently this
Turkey
is
had
for-
no
yeah,
idea.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, but then again, Turkey doesn't have any authority because technically the embassy is considered
Saudi Arabia.
a Saudi Arabian property, right? Like it's like as if you are in Saudi Arabia. That's how it works. So they don't have anything to do with that. But for the people that don't know, this story dates back a couple of years ago, where I mean, this journalist was very critical against towards the crown prince and in general, the whole governance of Saudi Arabia. And he was working in the U.S. He was a Washington Post journalist, the guy. So he was in Turkey. He went to the embassy. They knew that he was going to be there. They sent a couple guys. They grabbed him. They dismembered him, and the body hasn't been found since. Right. But apparently, it was this huge operation where they used chemicals to clean everything up. Like, I mean, they left no trace whatsoever. Right. It's like as if nothing had happened. So obviously, this thing had been planned. So and apparently, from what we know now, the Saudi crown prince gave his approval. From what I read, the U.S. has what's it called? They have sanctioned people around the crown prince, like the security guards and a bunch of people around him, but not directly him. They want to avoid creating a situation where the relationships might get affected, which for me doesn't make any sense. And here's the thing: we spoke about the Russian opposition leader that was arrested upon arrival back to Russia, and the U.S. along with the EU have sanctioned Russia over that. So this is a leader of the opposition that was just imprisoned. And I'm not saying just like to diminish it, right? I mean, things like that shouldn't be happening. But for that, you're sanctioning Russia. But for the murder of a journalist that worked out of the U.S., you're lifting your hands up and like, well, we don't know. I mean, we don't want to.
It's all a theater.
It makes no
George.
sense.
It's theater. That's the problem.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I don't like the theater of dreams that they're fucking playing right now. Same thing with Turkey. I don't know if you saw I tweeted about it. CNN Turk. They had their panel of smart people, and they were talking about how
where they said they can walk into Athens in 14 days and
no, not even. They said we could take Athens over. We're gonna take it over in 3 days, and then in 5 or 6 days we're gonna take over the north.
Yeah.
There are still villages. I would like to remind people, like we saw in Pantelis live in Turkey, that they haven't walked upright yet. They're like, you know that, right? CNN is the one who covered that story. Those villages. You haven't seen those, Phil?
No.
Poseidon's pulling it up right now. The villages in Turkey where they
wanna see
walk
this.
on all four like ape-like. So it might take you guys more than 3 days to walk into Athens. Fucking empty threats.
Why do they
give me a
walk
goddamn
like
reason.
apes?
Huh?
Well, why do they walk like
Because they're
apes?
unevolved Mongolians, bro. What do you want me to tell you? Well, it wasn't the best of the best that they had with them traveling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I
mean,
mean, we've
All
spoken.
right.
I think we've spoken about Turkey. I mean, I think the alarm has sounded. The question is,
Hold on, guys.
Do you want me to pull it up?
Yeah, put big screen here. Put up full
Hold
screen.
on. I just wanna.
Let the boys lower the volume. We don't need to hear. There we go.
In a remote corner of Turkey, 5 unusual siblings come to the attention of the
What is
world.
happening here?
The army's trying to reach Athens.
Victims of a mysterious
Do these
condition.
people have some kind of genetic
Pariahs
condition?
in their
Yeah, they're
village.
Turks.
They now face international scrutiny.
I'm Googling this right now.
I'm not lying. What do you think? I made this fucking video up, bro.
And all because of how they walk. On their feet and their hands.
I'm like, I don't even know what to Google to read about this.
Anyways, Poseidon, that's enough. He
Caused
got the
this.
gist of it.
Actually, you guys are talking about Turkey.
Hold on.
I read a
Hold on.
funny article yesterday about Turkey. There's this shrine in the Marmaris district of Turkey, which is near the coast. It's like an ancient pyramid. It's been revered as a holy Islamic site for, since the 1400s, right? They believe that I don't know who, because it didn't name the person, but a very important figure in Islam was buried there, right? So like young men, before they go to serve in the military, they would go to this shrine and they would take like a palm full of earth to keep with them as a good luck charm.
Okay.
They just discovered, I don't know when exactly, but the article came out that it's actually the tomb of the ancient famous Greek boxer Diagoras. Like,
You're joking.
Yes.
it's him. Like,
Yes.
the original super athlete. Like, the guy who used to walk around and be like, yo, it's Diagoras! Like,
Yes.
the first
Karma.
famous athlete in
It is
history.
bitch.
So they're like, yeah, maybe, but we're just gonna keep praying at it.
Okay. Go ahead.
I thought it was funny.
Thank
I
you,
thought it was
ancient
pretty
Greek boxer, for giving us the strength to walk upright.
funny. Am I echoing?
Yeah, there is an.
How'd that happen? I'm gonna mute and unmute.
No sé. No sé.
Yo soy back.
So, George, keep going. I'm sorry.
So that's the news I had for you guys for today. But this whole situation in Saudi Arabia,
I found it.
Saudi Arabia.
It's not a whole village, dude. It's a family.
it's a family. Yeah.
It's just a family of weirdos.
Huh?
Oh no, it is a fucking village. They're just everyone in the village is family.
Yeah.
I think we just solved this mystery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. That hole has been filled.
Good
But
job
I
investigating, Phil.
read somewhere that Turkey is going to do to conduct more exercises, naval exercises in the Mediterranean. But this time they're going to have the Air Force participate as well. It's just provocations, guys. These things just don't stop, right? At some point, the international community is going to have to step up and put them in their place. The problem is that Turkey right now, they have an interesting coalition, an alliance with Russia. And the dynamics in the region are just so messed up that the other greater powers don't really want to touch it. They're like, look, do we really want to open up that can of worms?
So you think if
It's
there was,
a can of Turkish delights, actually.
you're saying that Russia would take Turkey's side in a war?
I don't know
I don't think so.
Well, Phil, man, we had this conversation before. Keep in mind one thing: if the NATO alliance goes against Turkey, Russia isn't part of the NATO alliance. Who do
Yeah.
you think Turkey is going to run to?
Yeah.
You understand? So
It might be smart for Turkey to not run to anyone and let the region destabilize so they can expand their influence like they've always tried to do historically.
if they go against them, then they're gonna get rattled. So they're gonna need help.
Maybe.
That's why they're being tight with.
I'm not a
but on
geopolitical-
the flip side, though, I'm not so sure Russia would even engage in that kind of conflict. Do you really want? Yes, there's tensions between the NATO alliance and Russia. Russia knows this. Are they really going to push those buttons, though? I don't know.
There's also, I think Turkey knows that Russia might not help them militarily. That's why they have that coalition with Pakistan and Azerbaijan. I don't know if you've seen this.
all the other ends.
Yeah, they call themselves the Brotherhood, whatever the fuck Islamic thing to take over the world.
Come on. They don't carry that much weight. Those countries compared to Turkey. And don't forget
Isn't
also
Pakistan nuclear?
Haha, look at that. 12 years ago on this day. That's funny.
Yeah, you saw that, eh?
Yeah.
But don't forget also that Russia has some alliances with some Eastern European nations as well, right? So,
Which powerhouse nations are you referring to?
I say powerhouse. I said Eastern European nations, like Bulgaria, the Balkan region. So
Places that are not to be trusted either way, Phil.
but even with Greece, there's always
Some of them can be trusted.
yeah,
Some of them have been proven to be disloyal.
No, but even with Greece, there's always been
Bulgaria is one of them.
There's always been this relationship with Greece and Russia as well, right? So it's very tricky. So that's why what's frustrating is that you're seeing nobody really taking any action. But at the same time, you have just a couple countries that are faced with this challenge now of dealing with a country like Turkey. I don't know. I don't know. And then you're seeing news like the ones that you're referring to, where we can walk into Athens if we want in 4 days, and in 3 days in Thessaloniki, and there goes Greece. Dude, what are you talking about?
What
You
kind
won't
of
even-
foreign policy is that, though? Like, that you even make a statement like that? It's
It's
crazy.
not. Well, it's not governmental, right? These are analysts, news analysts on CNN Turkey.
Oh,
You know what's crazy about this is that, as if they forgot. We still have those subs. Remember that we made them, we terrified them. Remember when we
Steak
terrorized them
subs?
last year? Yeah, because they can't detect them. So what the subs did is they surrounded their ships. You remember if Poseidon trying to pull it up last year, and they were blasting inside. What was it, heavy metal music or some shit? And
They were blasting a Beatles song.
they were Beatles, a Yellow Submarine, and apparently the Turks said they came home terrified. They didn't know what because they couldn't move because if they were scared to get shot. So they were. So what are they talking about? Like, if we really want, the water is where we're gonna stop them.
George,
I think I found it.
what is this nonsense I'm seeing getting notifications on YouTube? Just as Dad's clip, Phil is a worrier. Why you gotta do me like that?
Because that's what you said. I'm quoting you.
Hold on, let's go to Poseidon with the article.
Hold on. There's a lot of
last
them.
time I do your
There's a video.
podcast.
8 Turkish submarines were hunted by the Greek armed forces.
Yeah.
Turkish submarine surrounded by Greek. I think this is the one. Blared. Yeah, there you go. I found it.
Just read it, Poseidon.
Okay,
Just read it.
Turkish submarine surrounded by Greek military blared with ear-piercing frequencies and Beatles song.
Which
Yeah.
song? Do we know?
It was Yellow Submarine. But but you see how pacifist they are. They're like, okay, they're in our waters. Fuck it, don't shoot them. Just fuck with them.
Yeah.
Play them that American music.
Yeah, let them know that we know that they're here,
Yeah.
and then they traumatize them.
And they can't. The Turks. They're like completely invisible. The Greek submarines.
They're completely invisible. So what are you talking about?
Untraceable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, okay, try. They'll just destroy your entire navy. Just shut the fuck up and stay where you are. I'm gonna take over Athens. Fuck, you're gonna force me to fly down there.
What a thing to say.
Look, you can't underestimate Turkey's.
I'm not underestimating them. What I'm saying is, fuck them. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna cower to bullies. Erdogan and his entire regime of bullies. I'm not gonna cower. You seen what's his name? Enes Kanter, the basketball player. He didn't fucking cower.
Yeah.
He didn't fucking cower.
Who?
Enes Kanter, the basketball player.
I don't know who that is.
He didn't cower. He left Turkey. He told Erdogan, "Suck my fucking dick. You're bad for Turkey and you're bad for the world."
Speaking of
I like this
athletes,
guy.
there's this hockey player too that's been coming out against Putin, and suddenly, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, they released some ridiculous allegation of sexual assault or some crazy thing like that.
Really?
And I'm not sure exactly what's happening to this hockey player, if they suspended him from the team, or I'm really not
I
sure.
haven't heard about this.
That Putin's been raping hockey players.
No, about this kid and his past when he was back in Russia. I'm not sure exactly what the story is, but it's just funny that because this kid he's been posting videos against Vladimir Putin, especially with what happened over the opposition leader and the fact that they jailed him. I think he came out again, and the Russians are using their known tactics. Oh yeah,
God
that's how
damn.
you are. Okay, where's our
Discreet.
story
I
people?
think,
Where's
I
the story
think I
people?
found it.
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
it-
let's
Shut up.
get our story people here.
Yo,
You know?
I was looking at I think the craziest regime right now because of the power they have is China. The guy Xi Jinping, who could be leader if he wants forever, just the way it works over there. The amount of power he has, he's the most powerful man in the world.
Yeah.
He was able
Leader.
to he was able to silence some of the richest people on the planet, right? Like what's the Jack Ma or whatever the fuck the Alibaba. This guy's got overwhelming power, and I found out something we already knew, but we couldn't confirm because they would say you're wrong, that's racist. Is that most of the shit that they would show to the outside world was fake, including the
You knew that, no?
no, but including the Chinese Super League of Soccer. So
What?
yeah, because so they had remember they were paying players big money to go down there.
Yeah.
So there's a
Yeah.
lot of players that left because they weren't getting paid. There was reasons why they weren't getting. They were finding excuses. They were trying to force this on the people because they wanted China to be a global superpower, even in soccer. By 2050, they wanted to compete to win the World Cup. That was their goal. They go, there's a billion of us. We're gonna have like 11 good players, and they were trying to. But he was forcing it. He was forcing it on people. He was forcing it.
Mathematics joke.
Yeah, so he was forcing like people with a lot of money to invest and buy these teams to make them big. But these guys had no interest in soccer. They were just doing it because they were scared of him, right? So they weren't getting, they were spending so much money and they weren't seeing any return because it was all fake. They're like, yeah, we have the market for it. They had no market for that type of, They still owe money to the English Premier League, to the Spanish League for TV rights. Millions, like 150 million they owe to England.
Chinese not love soccer?
Not as much. They were just trying to pretend. Like, we're with you, you know? They were trying to pretend that they're normal. They're like the rest of the world because they wanted to infiltrate other markets. I was reading about this morning.
Really?
And then, dude, apparently something that I didn't see. So China, when they were trying to qualify for the last World Cup, there was hell broke loose because people were so invested in like, you know, the government said this is going to be the team of the century, whatever. And then first they had lost to Syria 1-0, and this was Syria during the war. So they hadn't practiced. They couldn't play at home. They had no location. Like, it was a war-torn country, and they beat China. And then they lost to, like, I think, what was it, Taiwan? No, not Taiwan. Thailand.
Taiwan has their own soccer
Thailand. They lost to Thailand. And they lost to Thailand, and Thailand was just a bunch of young kids that they played against, and they lost 5-1. And people were still like, yo, what the fuck? Have you been bullshitting us? I thought we have, like, this crazy soccer program. And then, because it was all fake. It was all a farce. It was all.
Do you remember when our rival soccer teams hashed it out in a friendly at in Lachine?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh, what?
Weren't you part of the other Hellas soccer team, AA Hellas?
No, and in Lachine,
Oh, you weren't?
that day I played for you.
Oh, did you?
I scored 2 goals.
I don't remember this.
I scored 2 goals, and one of them was with my left
I
foot.
wasn't allowed to play on my team. I had to coach. I sucked too bad.
Yeah, I scored with my left foot, and I was like, I was all impressed.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I don't know why I thought of that. They're like rival street gangs.
Yeah, well, in ball hockey, it was pretty apparent. I remember that was fun times. I miss ball hockey. I want to get into shape and play one more fucking season. That's what I want to do. One more season.
I just want to get into shape, but I don't want to get myself into shape. How do I just get into shape?
Currently, I'm in the shape of a circle, sir, so I can't tell you how to get into shape. I'm not the guy.
I'm in the shape of like a string bean.
Talk to Nick Drosos.
No, I don't want to die.
He'll
And he
fucking
takes his
shoot
shirt
you.
off too often.
Yeah,
He
he does it to intimidate you. He speaks with his nipples.
I was telling Phil before we went live that we had him on Just Us Dads, and right before we started, recording, he's like, "Wait, guys, there's something off, man. Something's not working." He goes, "Wait, hold on, I'm gonna take off my shirt." I'm like, "What are you doing, bro? Take off your shirt." Like,
He's hilarious.
"What?
Every interview he does, he has his shirt off.
Why would you take off your shirt, bro? This is the nighttime. We're recording this like fucking 8,
Yeah,
9
he's
p.m.
comfortable.
We're here live with local self-defense expert Nick Drosos. Nick, Nick, see you lost your shirt. Yeah, I gotta be comfortable for this interview.
He was lying on his bed, fucking.
He's
top of
hilarious.
Lighting candles.
Yeah.
He's like, no, guys, continue. Sorry, I'm just gonna light some
And then
candles.
he tells the reporter, she's like, she's asking questions. Hey, my eyes are up here.
Nick is such an interesting character.
He's amazing. He's
Yeah,
amazing.
I
He
want
was
to
my
start training
fight
with him again.
coordinator for Dichotomous.
Yeah. It's funny that you
Yeah.
mentioned dichotomies because this morning I got the notification, those memories that come up on Facebook,
Yeah.
and it was the album with like 200 pictures or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it's fun, It's like a long time.
What was it, like 9 years ago?
Hold on, let me look at my
It was
memory.
the year I got engaged, so it was 9 years ago.
Oh, you did all the
Is that-
behind-the-scenes photo taking, George?
Yeah.
George did all the set photography for that, and there was a bunch of people involved in that. It was a fun time. I like that movie. That's one of my favorite things I've done.
2013, yeah.
Oh, wow.
2013.
Yeah, 2013.
It's crazy to think
Wow.
back at all the
Long
shit.
time ago.
What a weird life.
209
Yeah.
pictures, dude. Yeah.
What?
209 pictures.
You took all those photos?
I don't know. I mean, they're there. They're in your album, so it's from.
No, I mean, is it the premiere? Because we also have photos from the premiere, or is it the film?
I'm in
itself?
those photos.
Was I? I don't think I was at.
I don't think you came to the premiere, actually. No.
Yeah, no.
No, I didn't see George at the premiere. I would have remembered.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, you came. That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, me and Louis came to support.
I remember that.
Oh no! Wait, I was there. I remember seeing you and Louis in the thing. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? Because I thought that you had integrated the Golden Dawn chapter, Pantelis.
What?
Well, I saw you two together. I'm like, what the fuck? Pantelis is part of these guys now. The fuck's going on here?
No, they were just friends.
Yeah, first of all, George, I was just friends, and also I don't join any groups. I don't like being part of a group. I don't like groupthink.
Agreed. Unless it's a soccer thing.
And I don't have
Then
time.
it's
I don't have time for meetings and shit like that. Join a goddamn group. And then
I know, it
what
seems
happens
like
when
a lot of work
what
to
happens
be
when you
involved
join
in
a
this
group? Someone tells you what to think, and then you have to think it. Fuck that shit, bro.
Yeah.
No, I can't join groups. But Lou, being one of the nicest dudes ever, came out to watch the film with me. So we went to watch Phil's movie. It was a good premiere, even though they were talking shit about Lou. It was good.
Not directly.
What do you mean not direct? Well, you just named him a different character, but you basically.
He said some questionable things on television.
But he didn't say questionable things on television. He didn't say
He
questionable.
did.
That dude, come on, that was the most obvious. That interview was the funniest. The edits of that interview.
I have seen
Yeah.
the raw footage of
Yeah?
that interview.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I have.
What did you see? And where's
Like-
where's the raw footage?
I don't have it. I've
Where-
seen
where'd
it,
you
but
see
I don't
it?
have it anymore. I mean, it might be on a hard drive, actually. I could look for it.
Just look for it.
I
Grab the raw
reached
footage.
out to them. I got my hands on it.
Because you never
It
told me that you
wasn't
saw
as
the
bad
raw
as what
footage.
went onto the television, onto the stream.
Well, of course
but
they would
it
cut.
was
They cut. You
the
don't cut up
same
an
vein.
interview. You don't cut up an interview like that. That's misleading. It's not
Yeah,
good. It's not
I
good journalism.
agree with you there,
'Cause
100%.
here's the
All
thing, man.
I'm saying is the original interview is not much better. A little better.
Well, much better, a little better. The fact that you would lie, you lose right there. Not you.
Oh,
the fact
you
that
mean
you
the
would lie.
patient. Yeah.
Let me
Look,
tell you guys something.
Either way, no matter what version of that I watch, based on my opinions, I don't agree with what he was saying, right?
I don't know what
So
he was
I'm gonna
saying because I
think it
haven't
was
seen the
equally
raw
bad.
footage. However, remember one thing: the truth.
Yeah.
The truth does not hurt or offend legitimate opinions. If you're legitimate, you shouldn't be scared of the truth. You see what I'm saying? So if her point of view was legitimate compared to
fair.
whatever he
I
said,
agree.
she wouldn't have been scared. So I don't know what he said, but I know the way they cut it up because it looked like the Homer Simpson interview when they cut him up in the Simpsons episode when Homer, remember the clock behind him was going.
Wasn't that bad.
It was bad. It was bad, especially because a lot of the points that he was trying to make, he had already made with me, and I was like, "That's not what you fucking told me." He's like, "That's not what I fucking told her either." It's just they're putting an answer to one question into another one, so I don't like that.
But you already answered your own argument. The
Yeah.
second that you put yourself within a group where the group tells you what to think, your opinions are at risk of being completely changed to fit that narrative.
Yeah.
Like if he had just had that interview.
But I'm
or
not
anyone,
arguing. I'm not arguing whether
talking
his
about him directly.
opinions. I'm not arguing whether his opinions are valid or not. What I'm saying is, if you're so righteous, then why would you doctor the interview? If your point is
I agree
legitimate, then
with
the truth
there,
won't hurt you.
100%.
The truth does not hurt
There, I
legitimacy.
agree with you.
The second they start
I
fucking
mean,
around, it's because it's illegitimate.
Well, keep in mind at the same time. I mean, when you have to expose what a 5-minute thing, and you have a 30-minute recording or an interview. I mean, at some point you're gonna have to cut it up somehow.
No. I'm not saying to keep the whole thing. You cut up, but you keep the answer from the question. You don't mix and match, George. That's crazy.
Right.
You don't mix and match. You know.
We've had this argument many times. I've always stood by the fact that yes, it was edited poorly, but not to the level that Pantelis feels that it was.
It was edited poorly. The level could be small, big. The point is, it was edited. It was basically he was misrepresented for a lot of his answers, not for his membership, but for his answers. He was misrepresented because they didn't show his actual
And
answers.
in the spirit of fairness, even in the movie, I say that. By the way, I don't know if you remember that.
No, in
where
the
they actually
movie,
say,
you
"Hey,
have
they
him
completely
yelling."
edited our answers.
Yeah, you have him yelling at our answers, but the way you make it seem in the movie is still bad. Like he's saying it, but it's not really. It's like they basically didn't let me go on my diatribe, which would have been better.
Who cares? Fuck, it's a horrible
No.
condition, and I'm glad they're considered they're criminals, man, and they're in jail. So fuck it.
Lou's not in jail. What are you talking about? Lou's not criminal.
No, so I'm
No,
not
I was talking about the organization, the Golden Dawn.
the original.
Hey, are we gonna do like a 200-year special for the morning show this month?
200-year special.
No, we could.
Yeah.
But what
It's
does
March.
what does the morning
It's
show
just the
have
March
to
is
do with
coming.
Greece?
Nothing really, except for the fact that we're all Greek, and it's a milestone.
I know, but I we could do another show for that. I don't know how it fits into the morning show.
Okay, we could do a special. Let's do. Yeah, I'm down with that.
I'll celebrate Greece's independence.
Hermes is doing a fucking special limited edition scarf.
Who?
We're not gonna do something.
Who?
Hermes, the luxury brand.
Hermes.
Yeah, remember in Grand Theft Auto Liberty City, you could always go to these fancy stores, the Hermes stores,
Okay.
to buy fancy clothes.
It's a very expensive
I'm gonna
brand.
put it in context for
It's
you.
an expensive brand in Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, no, in real life.
Because he said
No,
Grand
in
Theft
real
Auto.
life also.
Don't listen to Phil. They modeled the store in GTA after this actual store. It's
Yeah,
not
I
actually
was trying
Hermes.
to like get him into the
Yeah, but you
pattern
didn't
of
say.
thought.
But why would you just confused them by saying that?
I can see that. That was not my intention. Hermes is a very expensive brand.
And what are they doing?
Greek independence.
They make
is,
clothes.
No,
and
no, for
year,
this.
because
Poseidon, pull it up. Hold on, Phil. Poseidon,
Yeah.
pull it up. Let's see this.
Oh, this is
What the fuck is this? Oh,
Eleftheria, it says.
we don't know what you're looking at.
what is that? That's like a scarf for ladies. You make
Scarf.
it into a madili.
I think
It's a
so.
scarf for ladies. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a collector's piece.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I'm just saying, like, if
Speaking-
a brand that has, I mean, they are Greek.
Yeah, we should do
because-
something cooler than that. Yeah, but I prefer having more blue and white.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the 200th anniversary, I don't know if you guys read that Greece will be honoring Haiti.
Goddamn right, the first country to recognize us as independent.
Yeah, little known
And,
fact. Yeah,
and to donate money.
and to donate money. They actually sent they sent soldiers actually by boat. The boat never made it actually
Yeah.
to Greece.
Yeah.
But yeah, very little known fact. Haiti was the first nation ever to support Greece in their effort towards their independence.
That's why I like Haitians.
And I read an article that the foreign affairs minister will be flying to Haiti later this year. I'm not sure exactly what
That's
they're
cool.
planning, but they will officially well, not recognized. I mean, it's already recognized, but they found a way to honor that country, and it's nice, I think, especially for Haiti that
I think it is nice.
who got its independence way before Greece, right in the early 1800s,
Yeah.
and it just sucks that they're still stuck in this this little bubble where they're still trying to figure shit out, right over there.
Yeah, well, of
I
course.
mean,
I mean, they
we're
got. I
not
mean,
doing
how
much
much more
better.
can Haiti be helped? The UN tried to help. The Clintons tried to help. All these helpful people went through
Earthquake
Haiti.
tried to help.
Helpful. quote
Yeah,
unquote,
these
yeah.
fucking cocksuckers. Yeah. I like this. I'm very happy. I always bring it up, the fact that Haiti was the first
It's a
country.
nice little gesture.
Yeah.
I think.
When I first learned about that, I was more shocked that Haiti was independent before Greece. Like that was the big. I was like, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good for them.
Yes,
Yeah.
we were slaves for longer. Just that I don't know why our neighbors didn't want to help us for forever. Everyone was scared of Turkey.
Yeah.
They didn't want to destabilize the region because that Pax Ottomanica that had existed, it was not an official term. I'm just using it as an example, like to paint a picture. It was people were making money off of it.
Yeah.
Like it was a lucrative setup for a lot of Western European dynasties. I don't mean like only the kings and stuff, but the elite, the rich. So it made sense to not fuck with it. There were even Greeks based in Europe who didn't want anything to do with independence because they're like, I'm not gonna fuck up my revenue stream.
Yep.
Why would I?
Yep.
I mean, money is a fucking powerful thing.
It just sucks that this happens during a pandemic year where
Yeah, I
things
know.
will probably schedule or maybe won't even happen, or who knows what they had in mind. But it's too
Yeah.
bad.
The cool thing is, at least now, our Greek community here can't colossally fuck up the parade of all parades.
Yeah, because
Because
they won't
this
have.
should have been the biggest one, and they would have clusterfucked it to high hell.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, I
Would've been
I won't
15
comment on
people.
that, but yeah,
Take the small wins.
yeah. It's too bad, right? I would have looked forward to this parade. I mean, regardless of how perhaps it would have been fucked up, which I don't think it would have been that colossal. I mean, the parade will still have happened, but it would have been fun just to be at that parade at this time, right? To
Yeah.
celebrate the.
It would have
200th.
been cool, yeah. They're not doing anything, I think, because they can't. Like, the regulations don't allow for much. I always looked forward to the parade. It was always like the first thing of spring.
Well,
know,
when I
every
was
couple of
young, the
years,
parade
yeah,
used to
fuck it.
always have
Except a couple
snowstorms.
of times we were snowed in. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it used to snow a lot.
We had
Yeah, I
both.
remember.
I remember parades that were super beautiful, nice weather, sunny, and then there were some it was just snowing nonstop. You couldn't see.
I remember being I remember being in the drum corps and I couldn't get a noise out of my drum because there was so much snow on it.
Yeah.
Dong, 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 dong. I remember the
time.
drums. Yeah, I never did the drums.
I had fun. I did drums from the 6th grade. Even in high school, I stayed on. I would do them on the weekends. Like I was part of the drum corps for the parade. It was always fun.
Yeah, it seems like fun, but I don't know. It wasn't for me.
Just banging a drum, it's fun, man.
Bang on a drum all day.
I would dress up and walk in folklore.
You'd wear your lady skirts.
Oh yeah,
your man
it's true. Yeah,
skirts,
you
I
were
mean,
in Fustanella. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
No, I don't have a fustanela. I have a vraca. I would dress up as a Cypriot, Cypriot folklore.
Oh yeah, you're Cypriot. Your mom's Cypriot. I forgot.
Yeah.
Do you understand Cypriot dialect, George?
No, it's completely messed up. It's a
You don't
completely-
understand it? How the fuck come I understand Cypriot? Why do you guys have a problem with
I don't
dialect?
understand.
No, you understand Greeks that have an accent because they're Cypriot. Go to Cyprus and go to like any cafe
It's
where
nuts.
it's talk. There's no way that you're gonna
I
understand.
like how they sing.
I'll take that bet.
It's very musical.
like
Like,
it.
there's a very
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it sounds like it's Turks speaking Greek. That's what it sounds like.
no,
Actually-
it's much more
actually, there was
Latin.
a study,
in the sound
yeah,
of
there was
it.
a study that was conducted that the Cypriot dialect is the closest, in terms of grammatically and syntactically
Phonologically.
stuff, to ancient Greek. So I read that somewhere. I can't remember how long ago, but
Interesting. Actually, when I was in Rhodes, like my wife's family's from there,
Yeah, they have
they
accents
don't
there
speak a
too.
dialect, but they speak really like I was just like, what? They're like, yeah, they said something to me. I was like, okay, and then they look at my wife and they're like, oh, you married a foreigner. I was like, no, I don't know what you're saying, fucking village lady.
But Crete
They
also.
sing.
When I went to Crete too,
Yeah.
it was pretty like in your face. It's like, what language are these?
It's a dialect.
Yeah.
Why you gotta talk shit?
I like
Cretans are awesome.
Cretans are awesome.
I remember when I went to Crete in 2014. What a beautiful place, and the people too. I love them.
Amazing. Crete is the best. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
First of all, you don't feel like
massive.
you're in Greece. It's so huge that you think you're like on some other mainland or whatever. Like, you understand why Cretans believe that they're different than the rest of Greece.
Yeah.
Because they are.
But also, I found they were the most chill. Like, I haven't been to too many places in Greece, but they were also like super chill people.
Where did you go in Crete, Poseidon?
I went to Iraklio and Chania, and then I went all the way west, Falasarna. I went to that beach with the pink sand.
La Fonisi.
Yeah, La Fonisi. There you go.
Yeah, the Phoenicia is the blue. That's the one that I have pictures
Yeah,
from
it's the
2017.
one that looks like
Not
the
pink.
Caribbean.
It's
You
the
know,
blue- it's the
that's
blue one,
really
the baby
interesting,
blue.
that beach,
Okay, the
because
baby
it's
blue.
part of like a geographical thing, like a natural phenomenon that extends across the Mediterranean. Like if you're in the south of Greece, it exists there too. It's just like on two ends, but in the deep water you don't see it. But it's just like the straight. It's really interesting
Really?
because
Huh?
there's La Fonisi in Crete and there's a La Foniso in the Peloponnese. They look identical.
I love that.
Really?
It was the first time I had ever witnessed something that clear. It looked like.
Yeah.
I have photos on my Instagram from 2017.
Yeah,
when I
nice.
went.
I didn't like Iraklio. I went there because we went to see the Minoan palace there, which is nice.
So, yeah.
But I stayed in Rethymno and I went to Chania too. Beautiful, man. Oh, just
I've
it's
never been to. Honestly, it's on my list of things
you
to see in
should,
Greece.
and anyone listening who's interested, I mean, and Crete is one of those places where you can't. It's not like those other islands where you go 1-2 days and then you island hop around.
No, it's like
you
3-4
chill there.
weeks.
You need a good week there. You know what I mean? It's a big place. Like you can just go on vacation to Crete,
Yeah.
the whole week or whatever. And
Actually, 3 episodes ago on Film My Hole, the guys who called in, they're from Crete. They live in Crete.
yeah.
And we were talking about it, and they were naming a bunch of cool places that I've never even heard of.
Wow, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. All right. Welcome
It's
to
very
Tourist Trap with Poseidon. Poseidon, cue the music. Let's tell people. Look, you got your
You
news
should get
today.
the Greek tourism agency.
You
on
got
board.
your news today. We went everywhere. We went international. We talked about Chris Delia. We talked about Dr. Seuss. Everything you need to know to get your day started, you have it right now. So if anybody talks to you, you know what the fuck's going on. But you can also gain more information. For example, at noon on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast, a new episode of 2 Drink Minimum comes out. It was a great episode. A lot of fun. We attacked Poseidon. He's fell in love with a prostitute. It's a great time. 2 Drink Minimum, new episode drops today at noon. Everywhere podcasts are sold. You can also check out podcasts from our buddy Phil over there, the Bald Assassin, the Bald Bruiser, Phil Balabanos. He also makes commercials. Head over to balabanos.com. Links are in the description. You can hire him to make your high-end commercial. everything's opening up again. You want to get people to see your product, see what kind of good stuff you're up to, so they can come buy it, sell it, all that kind of stuff. Phil's your man. Head over to battlehouse.com and try to hire this son of a bitch as long as he's free and available. He's very busy, very in demand these days. Also, he's got a podcast called Fill My Hole. Every Sunday at 8 p.m. a new episode drops on his YouTube channel. So check out his YouTube channel, subscribe for new episodes of Fill My Hole. Then we got the bad boy of Brossard, George Sadrizo, the Cypriot warrior. He's out there producing 2 podcasts a week. One is the Backstage podcast, a favorite amongst politicians and the elites. George is all Illuminati in. The Backstage podcast is a very good podcast. He interviews interesting guests. He interviews politicians. He interviews anyone that thinks has an impact on society and will be worth for you guys to learn about. So it's a very good podcast, the Backstage podcast. Subscribe to that. But also, his hit podcast, Just Us Dads, comes out weekly, Fridays at noon. It comes out everywhere. It is a podcast by moms for dads. It's for anybody that's child-related. If you have kids, if you have nephews, nieces, whatever, you want a bunch of guys telling you their experience. Some of them have kids longer. Some of them have kids recently. It's a good little fun topics to start, your weekend. You're like, oh, I didn't do it that way. I like what he did there. Oh, that's interesting. Why is he beating his kid? Oh, he just choked his wife out. It's questionable, but it's a very entertaining podcast. Just Us Dads, Fridays at noon. Links to these guys is in the description. And our producer, Mr. Poseidon, you can catch him every Saturday at 4 p.m. exclusively on the Patreon. Patreon.com/Pantelis is where you get in bed with Poseidon. Him and his girlfriend/escort, Annabelle, talk about their week. It's a fun show. Patreon.com/Pantelis is where you're going to get it. Movie nights this Saturday at 6. Another morning show coming to you this Friday. And Thursday night, new episode of The Intellectuals drops on this very channel. Patreon.com/Pantelis. Thank you guys for watching the morning show.
We're only friends.